too soft to life for
My
me.
Sunday was pretty cool.
Go
I
ahead.
was visiting my uncle on my mother-in-law's side, and he made my day today. We were in Augusta, and if you guys know, I'm a big golf nut. And we were in Augusta, and I was, Augusta is home of the Masters golf tournament, and the golf tournament happened last week. So my dream has been to go to the Masters tournament, right? So it just so happens that they got some Masters paraphernalia. Paraphernalia? Is that the right word? But they had Masters like gifts, like ball markers, hats, and they know that I love golf, so they treated me to a whole bag of Masters gear. So that kind of made my day today. You never know when you get blessed every now and then. So that's why I come here every day, guys, to make sure that I'm blessing you guys, trying to help you with what I know. I'm not the smartest person on earth, but I do know my stock stuff, right? So if you're struggling in the market, come in and get educated. Anytime you guys see me go live, I am teaching. We're going to learn something today. Every now and then I might go on a rant, but for the most part, it's for educational purposes. If I'm ranting, it's probably because I'm trying to keep some of my beginners and newbies from making the mistakes that I made in the beginning. So it's like a papa trying to warn their kids about the things out there that can harm you. So don't take it the wrong way if you come in and I'm a little arrogant, or I'm going in on somebody. It's for the best, all right? But I love the room that we've created. I couldn't do this without you guys, so I want to make sure that I can do a Superfan Live every week for you guys. So I was on the road today driving, so I could have easily just said, man, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. But if you guys are going to show up, then I'm going to show up, right? So in the comment section, go ahead and put your questions, your stock picks. Now, if you can't comment, it's because on Sundays we do Superfan Lives. Now, I do open up the live so that everyone can see what's going on, right? But I try to keep it open for my super fans so that they can get their questions in before the Monday market. So one of the first questions that came into the market, that came into the comment section today, was from Lewis Robinson. And it looks like Lewis is interested and trying to learn how to trade weekly just to make $500. So I'm going to cut the music down because this is an important question. All right, so I'm going to realistically tell you guys what you can and you can't do in the market. Yes, you can come in, and I've shown you guys the Millionaire Challenge trade where you can come in. I think we saw micro strategy on Friday, guys. If you had, what was it, $50 or $80, the $80 went to or $40 went to $800. It was something stupid, right? That's not normal, all right? In normal conditions, if you want to come into the market, if you want to trade the market, let me give you guys some numbers. So I'm going to use this backdrop as a chalkboard today. So let me take this off, and we're going to put a clean chart. And I'm going to use this in the background. So if you want to make $500 a week, all right, and I'm gonna give you guys all the numbers that I use, right? Realistically, if you want to make $500 a week trading the stock market, all right, there is capital requirements. I think They're capital requirements because you got to have money to make money. But what's realistic, right? Most people don't know what's realistic, right? So if you want to make $500 a week, I'm going to totally be honest with you. You're going to need, you said $500 a week? Okay, $500 a week is like $100 a day. So that's cool. That makes it a little better, right? So $500 a week let's say 500 a week. That turns into an average of about $100 a day. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to trade. It doesn't mean that you have to trade. Oh, I messed that up. It doesn't mean that you have to trade every day to get that 500. You could take one trade a week. But let's do some realistic numbers, all right? Realistically, because there are some people out there that's going to give you some unrealistic expectations when it comes to this game. Now, if you want to make $100 a day, all right, we're going to break this down stock-wise, options, futures, and cryptocurrency. Let's go with the slowest, which is stocks. Let's say you purely wanted to trade stock, and if it's going to average out to about $100 a day. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you're day trading the market, you want to make anywhere from 1% to 3% a day. All right. And that's huge. Like even those numbers are huge, even for somebody like me, because think about it. If you averaged 1% a day and you traded 20 days a month, that's like a 20% return. So you know what? I'm not even going to show you the 3% because I know you can get it. We're going to go with the lower end numbers. So you're going to need about 1%. You're going to want to make about 1% a day. So when you think about it, what's going to give you $100 if you're going to make 1% a day? The answer is you're going to need about 10 grand. All right. So if you're going to trade just stock, now look, I know some people probably just left. They're like, I ain't got that type of money. Bye, Joel. But listen, I'm just being honest with you. If you want to keep it simple and easy and a number that you can actually get to, that's realistic, trading the way that we trade every day, that's trading an hour to 3 hours a day. Even if you took one trade a week, right, you still need that 10 grand so that you can catch a 5% move in a stock. All right, so you're gonna need $10,000. And what's beautiful about what's happening in the market right now, guys, is that a lot of these brokers are making it where you can, the $25,000 day trading pattern day trading rule, they're about to get rid of it. That means that anybody's going to be able to come into the market with any amount of money, and as long as you can pay for those commissions, you're going to be able to get in and out of the market as many times as you want to on a daily basis. Now, I know I got some super traders in here, and they're going to say, yeah, Joe, but you could trade. We're not going there yet. We're starting with stock. All right. So if you have just pure stock, guys, if we're trading pure Apple, pure Microsoft, pure Google, we're not talking about MicroStrategy and all the speculative companies that can run 5 or 10%. We're going with the minimum. What is realistic? What can everybody on this live do? And I feel like you can do this. You can do 1% a day. That's still 20% a month, guys, which is over 200% a year. The average money manager doesn't even make more than 20% a year. They don't even beat the S&P 500. The S&P 500, let's say you put all of your money in the S&P 500 and you every year you buy it on the first of the month and then, January 1st, and then you sell it the following year, right? The average move of the S&P is 10%. So even if you had, $10,000, the average return on 10 grand buying the S&P 500 is $1,000. I'm trying to tell you guys, you can probably, if you're active enough, make $100 a day with that 10 grand. Now, let's get into other derivatives that are out there. All right. If you were trading Cryptocurrency, that's the next level up. So it's gonna go stocks, cryptocurrency, futures, then options. Stocks, cryptocurrency, futures, and then options. Now, here's the thing. You could trade stuff like MicroStrategy, or you could trade cryptocurrency type stocks, and it's still stock. You don't have to go and open up a cryptocurrency account. That's why people trade stuff like MicroStrategy. They'll trade GBTC. They'll trade BTCO, right? Which is the Bitcoin ETF. They'll trade that, guys, looking for that 1 to 5%. All right. So if you want to increase your beta a little bit, you're gonna try to trade stocks that have a beta, guys, that's at least 2.0 or higher. Did you hear what I just said? If you want to increase that 100 and try to squeeze out a little bit more, and you better be good, you want to find stocks that have betas that are higher than 2.0. That's going to put you in that cryptocurrency type, speculative type area. Okay? So you might not need 10 grand. You can use about 5 grand. So instead of 10,000, guys, the numbers are going to start going down. 10,000 is the minimum I think you're going to need. I mean, the maximum you're going to need to make $100 a day trading stock. That's the safest route. The next tier is going to be your cryptocurrency stocks or companies that have betas higher than 2.0. Then you can use about 5 grand. You're going to be able to get, well, soon you should be able to get in and out of the market. All right. It hasn't gone completely through yet. And that's why I'm being real careful about what I say when it comes to the amount of funds that you need, because every broker is not allowing this yet. So, we're just thinking about, if you were to hold this for 5 days, make 5% on average, you're going to be able to get that $100 a day. But probably within the next 2 or 3 months, companies like Robinhood, companies like Schwab, they're going to start taking away that pattern day trading rule, and you're not going to have that 3 up there anymore, and you're going to be able to get in and out of the market. Okay? You should be able to get in and out of the market. Anything can happen, guys, and they can come in and say, nope, you need $25,000 again. Now, if you have a cryptocurrency account, I don't know if you guys know this. If you're on, my favorite is Coinbase. There's going to be crypto people that rip my head off for saying that. But Coinbase has a pro level platform. And on that pro level platform, you're going to be able to get in and out of the market. Now, what a lot of my clients will do is they'll learn the strategies to trade the market, and they'll use Schwab or TradeStation or TradeView or whatever you're on. They'll use those charts, but then they'll trade on those brokerage platforms, when they're trading their crypto, because their platforms are okay, but you're not going to be able to pull up the TTM trend. You're not going to be able to pull up the VWAP. You're not going to be able to pull up all of the professional tools that you need, in my opinion, to compete with people like myself. Now, if you say, Joel, I need that 5,000. Thank you, I'm Mona Lisa, for the hat. Like, Joel, that 5 grand is a lot of money. I still want to be able to make $100 a day. Great. I can take that number all the way down to 1,000. You can go all the way down as far as $1,000, guys. And if you have $1,000, you can trade the futures market. Now, in the futures market, you can make anywhere from 5 to 10% a day if you're doing it right. 5 to 10% a day. Easily. You can also lose 5 or 10% a day. So you better be careful. This right here, guys, is where most of your day traders are going to fall. A lot of your traders that are getting in and out of the market the same day, they want to keep their costs down. And I don't now you got to talk to a tax person. You have to talk to a tax person. In the past, if I was trading $10,000 in the futures market and I was paying $10,000 and I was using $10,000 in the stocks, and I profited the same amount of money, you were taxed less on futures accounts versus stock accounts. Now, the tax code may have changed, so please talk to a tax person. I am not an expert in taxes. So that's another reason why a lot of people day traders will trade the futures market, because the futures market is taxed the least out of all of in the past, it was taxed the least out of all of the derivatives that were out there. All right. In the futures market, guys, this is before the pattern day trading rule is about to get kicked out. You're able to get in and out of the market as many times as you want to, as long as you're able to pay the commissions. I can get in and out of the S&P 500, gold, silver, oil, 1,000 times. I can get in and 30 seconds later be like, oh, I don't like this, and then get right back in, then right back out, then right back in, and right back out, and right back in, and right back out. And I'm not going to get labeled a pattern day trader, and I don't have to have $25,000 in my account. All right. So if you still want to make $100 a day, you can do it with as little as 1,000 in the futures market. Now, this is what you people, and by you people, I mean myself too. All right. This is what we always do when we come into the market. Joel, I want to use the least amount of money and I want to make the most amount of money. Isn't it about, buying low and selling high, or getting things on sale and making the highest return? Yes. But I'm going to be honest with you. The futures market, in my opinion, for active traders that are getting in and out the same day, in my opinion, is the best for active traders. Now, if you got a whole bunch of money and you have access to funds and you want to be able to get in and out of the market, I always tell people the stock market, just pure stocks that have betas less than 1.5, trading the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow is going to give you the safest. Nothing is safe. It's going to give you the safest options, in my opinion, getting in and out of the market and the most control, because you can buy so many more shares and stocks. And what a lot of you guys will do is when you trade the futures, because you might only have 1,000 in your account, you might only buy one contract. So if I'm buying something and I only have one contract, let's say it starts to run and I'm thinking about, I need to get in or I need to get out. Well, if I only have one contract, it's all or nothing. It's either I'm all the way in or all the way out. But if I have, let's say I'm buying 100 or 300 shares of something, I can scale in. I can buy 20 shares, 30 shares. It might go down a little bit more, 40 shares, 30, 20. And then as it starts to go up in price, I can sell some of those shares off. Now, it's going to cost you every, commissions on, thank you for that, Head. It's going to cost you commissions on the different shares that you're buying, but I can scale in and scale out. So stocks are always going to give me the most room to be able to take. I can scale my way in, scale my way out, but you are using the most amount of money. But here's the thing. If you're getting in and out of the market the same day and you're dealing with the S&P 500 stocks, guys, I don't want to say it's almost impossible to lose all of your money, because I've never seen a stock go to zero that was on the S&P 500 ever in one day. But I have seen in my own personal account, I've seen my account go to zero in options. I've seen my account go from 5 figures to zero in the futures market. Okay. No, I have never seen my account go to zero in a cryptocurrency market or the stock market. I have had stocks. I think I've had 3 in my lifetime that went to zero. I've only had 3 stocks that went to zero. Okay. One was Nintendo that I was buying with my son. One was MoviePass. And another one was MedMen, which was a cannabis stock. Okay? And I thought Jumia was about to do it, but it hasn't done it yet. I've only had 3 companies. MoviePass, Nintendo ended up going private. All right. And then MedMen, which was a cannabis stock, which was supposed to be the Apple of the cannabis sector. All right. Now, I know I haven't talked about options yet, because this is what y'all all want to hear. I haven't talked about options yet. I really don't like you guys day trading options. I really don't. I rather you guys use the options market to hit home runs out of the park, over center field, 400 feet, home runs. But you also are swinging out of your shoes. That means you can strike out. If you strike out, guys, I want the bases to be loaded when you trade options, and your team is already up 10 points. And the coach is looking at you and saying, this is the time to swing out of your shoes. You've been wanting to be in this position your whole life. The bases are loaded. It's the 9th inning. We're up 10 points. Swing for the fences. I don't want you guys coming in relying on that, all right? So it should be an amount of money that you guys can re-up in case you strike out. And in the options market, guys, the numbers are so stupid, I don't even need to write them down. Because you can take $100 to $1,000. You can take I'll be honest with you, realistically, you can probably make you can make a 25% return in the options market just sneezing. Like, it's that easy to make a 25% return. So the numbers are ridiculous in the options market. We look for guys. It's so crazy that I only take options trades if I'm making 100% or more. Like, I don't even think about taking a trade unless I'm making. Y'all hear what I said? Not 100%, 100% or more. I'm not satisfied when I get a 75% return or an 85% return. I'm like, I know I can do better than that, because shoot, on Friday, $40 turned into $800 in MicroStrategy. So if these silly fools can make a 2,000% return on their stock, on their options, I know I can do it. All right, so those are the numbers, guys. If you want to make these types of numbers, if you want to keep it conservative, go to stock route. Please go to stock route. Please, I'm begging you. If you want to be an active trader and you want to do what most day traders, if you want to go on TikTok and watch all the live hosts trading, 90% of the live hosts that are trading day to day, and it's their business that they're doing, and that's their 9 to 5. They're not trading stock. They're trading the futures market. They're either trading the NASDAQ, they're trading the S&P, or they're trading the Dow. Most of the time, I see them trading the NASDAQ or the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is the most liquid index on the planet. That's where you learn how to trade. All right? The S&P 500. You can trade the S&P 500 in stock. You can trade the S&P 500 in futures, and you can trade the S&P 500 in options. All All right, you can do all three. I can talk to my options traders, my futures traders, and my stock traders with the same setup. Did y'all know that? I can use my same 5-minute setup and I can talk to 3 different individuals and everybody sees the same thing. All right, but they trade it differently because one's going to be looking at the options, one's going to be using the futures market. They may be trading, it depends on the amount of money that you're using. And then you got your stock traders that are also pure stock traders that are just looking for their 1 to 3% trading the S&P 500. The S&P 500 lately has been moving 0.5% to 1.5% a day. All right, so those are the numbers. All right. So just in case you guys didn't know, there are so many different people that try to get into this game and do it. You know, they go straight into the options market. They don't have any strategies. They're just trying to trade off fundamentals. Guys, I keep telling you this. You're competing with the best of the best out there. The best of the best are using technical indicators and fundamentals. Even guys, we have gotten so good as consumers. And I'm being honest with you guys. I've done thousands of consultations. We have gotten so good at trading that we have forced the pension fund managers and the mutual fund managers to learn charts. They used to not really look at charts like that. They are forced to do it because we have been kicking their butts. They are now looking to what we're doing to see what the market is doing. Isn't that kind of interesting? How for years, whatever we used to do was the opposite. And now we are the smart money. And if you talk to any mutual fund or guys that are out there, they're like, yeah, the world is changing. These guys know what they're doing. Guys like What Would Joel Do and all of these other different traders, because now we're seeing what they see and they can't move as fast as we do. They're moving billions of dollars. We're moving thousands. So we can get in and out, in and out, in and out. They can't do that. Right? So that's something that we have an advantage of. We can get in and out and then go to sleep at night. They can't do that. They can't buy all of their shares in one day and then get out the same day. It might take them 2 to 3 weeks to get in a position, then 2 to 3 weeks to get out of a position. All right. How do I know this? Because I've trained some of these money managers. All right. All right. You know, they might not have been super big time, but there were money managers that I've helped that I can't really talk about because it's confidential when I do my consultations. And they used to come into the room and say things to you guys, and you had no idea that's who you were talking to. But I had to educate them on what they're doing because they wanted to get an edge on their other money manager people. They really didn't understand cryptocurrency. I educated them on that, right? They understood 200-week, maybe the 200-day moving average, but they didn't really understand more, anything like more than that. And it's interesting because they're handling millions of dollars, billions of dollars, and they don't even understand some of the indicators that we understand on a very, very basic level. So again, these are the numbers. All right. Cool. All right. What are you guys talking about in the comment section? Let me see what's going on. All right, let's look at some of you guys' stocks, other questions. If you have questions, go ahead and load up the questions. This is the time for super fans to get all your questions, all your concerns, anything regarding the stock market that you can't get during my regular lives because there's too many comments going on. This is your time to be able to get in that question. Even if you think it's simple or basic, go ahead and shoot that question. If not, y'all know I'll just go right into let's look at stock. All right, I do see a couple. I see, let me write that down too. Wolf, ET. As soon as I get all the questions answered, we'll go right into looking at you guys' stocks and time frames. So the way that this format works, if you're looking in for the first time, I'm an expert in stocks, options, futures, and a little bit of cryptocurrency. I'm not going to sit back and say I'm an expert in it, although I own a lot of it. All right. I understand the basics of cryptocurrency, but I can't. What it does, I understand wallets, cold wallets, whatever. I understand the basics of it, but I don't, I used to say I was an expert, and I was like, I'm really not. I made a lot of money in it, but just because you make a lot of money in something, guys, does not make you an expert. Yes, my very first trade in crypto, this is a true story. My very first trade in cryptocurrency was a $500 investment in Ripple in 2018, December of 2018. I invested $500. It turned into $7,000 in 30 days. I took that 7,000. I think I bought. I think I bought an Ethereum coin, and I bought one Bitcoin with it. That was my very first time buying Bitcoin. My very first time buying Bitcoin, guys. I went all in. I bought a full Bitcoin for $5,000. And I bought a full Ethereum coin. I don't know what the Ethereum was at that time. And then I got out of Ripple. I know people were like, well, why didn't you stay in Ripple? Well, it must have been a smart move, because Ripple, when I bought it for 22 cents and it ran to $3 and something, we ain't seen $3 since 2018. So it obviously was a very good move, and Bitcoin ran and Ethereum ran. All right. But just because I made, and then I took that $5,000 to whatever Bitcoin is today, right? Just because I made all of that money and I made a very wise decision does not make me an expert. And I want you guys to understand that too. Just because you make a lot of money in something, just because you bought a house, I hope my pastor pops ain't here. Just because you bought a house in San Francisco 25, 30 years ago, and now the house is $1 million, doesn't make you a real estate expert. You was at the right place at the right time. And I joke with you guys about stuff like that. But just because you make a lot of money does not make you an expert. All right, you got to put at least 10. Now, what makes you an expert is when you put 10,000 hours into anything, even if you're good or bad. Did y'all know that? You know that there are bad experts out there? They're bad experts. But the definition of an expert is if you spend 10,000 or more hours studying something, and a lot of you guys right now have spent more than 10,000 hours trading and investing in the market. You might not be a good trader or investor, but you are an expert in it. You probably can explain to people what a stock is, what futures are, what an options is, right? Can you teach a class on it? That's not what makes you an expert. An expert just means that you spent the time to educate yourself or be in that particular field. All right, now I have over 30,000, probably 40,000 hours at this particular time in these particular markets. So even though I've studied crypto for that long, I still consider myself a non-expert. Even though people are like, Joel, you're an expert, dude. You got videos on how to buy crypto. But that's just my personal belief. I'm not going to call myself something if I don't feel comfortable saying it. Like, I'm a good golfer. I probably can teach a whole class on it. But PGA players would be like, why is this dude teaching golf when he can't even break 70? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I'm going to ramble until I see questions. All right, hold on. Let me see. Yeah, you said came in late. Mona Lisa said came in late. They changed they did change the day trading pattern. Now, some brokers are not even doing 5. They're like, I don't care what the number is. That's why I said, let's just wait and see if it's broker specific or if it's going to be across the line, across the world. This is what the number is going to be, because it just literally, like in the last 2 weeks, guys, this rule just came into play. So we're gonna chill and see what happens. But for now, we're gonna just say that it's still in place. All right. The day trading rule is still in place. If you want to get in and out of the market, several times. Now, everybody on here can buy a stock and sell it that day, but you can only do that 3 times a week. All right. You can buy something and then sell it, and then buy it and sell it the same exact day. You can only do that 3 times. All right. Unless you have 25,000 in your account. The rule that they're putting into place, they're trying to say that we're going to be able to get in and out with less than $25,000. So that's going to help a lot of you guys stay away from losing all of your money in the options market. And, all right, G7, the one and only, has a question. Her question says, Joel, what are the charts time frames we should use for a week out contract? All right. And what are the indicators? All right. So here's the thing. Anytime you want to be in my humble opinion, if you were using the what would Joel do method, if you were taking a trade, I always tell people to double the amount of time that you want to be in something. So let's say you want to be in something for 2 days. All right. I just want to buy something today, Joel, and I want to be out. I want to buy something on Monday, be out of it by Wednesday. Well, if I doubled that time, that's going to be 4 days. So you can pick the Friday expiration and you should be fine. But if you want to be in something and out of something in about 5 or 6 days, I wouldn't advise you to buy on a Monday and try to get out on a Friday. If you buy anything on a Monday, guys, and you're holding that Friday expiration, or you're holding it to the most recent Friday expiration, and I'm talking options for you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, then you need to go to the following week, in my opinion. All right, if you want to only be in it for 3, 4, 5 days, go with the following Friday's expiration. Now, if you're buying indexes, things are changing so fast, guys. I got to change the way that I teach. They now have 0-day options. Jeez Louise. With the 0-day options, it'd be confusing me because I used to just be able to pull up the options chain and whatever I saw, I knew it was a Friday expiration. Now I have to really look at it and make sure it's not expiring the same day. All right. And that's killing me because I got to pull up the calendar. I got to look, my calendar I got up on my wall is the wrong day, the wrong month all the time. Then I got to go into my phone. It just really is confusing, right? And y'all know I like simplicity. But if you wanted to go out a week, then I'm going to go out 2 weeks. For example, let's say at the beginning, let's say Trump comes out and says, I'm going to give Iran 2 more weeks until they decide to negotiate. Right? But you really only want to be in the trade for the one catalyst that might happen before that time frame. If you're going to wait out the full 2 weeks, then you need to go out 1 month. Now, you can go out 3 weeks if you want to, if you're good. I'm telling people to go out 4 weeks. If you know you're going to be out in 2 weeks and you're looking for if you're looking for some great news to come out this week, then you're only going to go out 2 weeks. Now, you're in that middle ground. So if you're going to go out 2 weeks, which is 14 days, if you're going to go out 14 days, you got a hybrid trade going on. Some people are going to use a week chart. Some people are going to use the day chart. Let's just use the day chart for now, all right? So let's say I was looking at the S&P 500. This is the scenario. I'm going to erase everything. The scenario is that I only want to be in a trade for 7 days. If I'm going to be in a trade for 7 days, maybe even earlier, I'm just looking for a catalyst in the options market. So I'm going to call it a 7-day catalyst. Then I want to be in this option for 14 days minimum. All right, 14 days minimum. So if I got a 7-day catalyst, I want to go out 14 days. If I'm going off of his 14-day move, I'm gonna go out even longer. I'm gonna go out a month because the hardest way to trade, and every trader that's good is gonna tell you the same thing. Day to day is the hardest way to trade. I don't care how good you think you are. The market is going to humble you if you think you can trade around Donald Trump's tweets. Unless you're there in the bedroom with him, no one can trade around Donald Trump's tweets. The hardest way to trade is 1 day overnight all the way up to 30 days. So you want to give yourself enough time so that even if he comes out with some ridiculous tweet and the market gets emotional and it moves, it'll go right back to what it's supposed to be doing within those 30 days. Which is why the longer you guys go out in these options, in my opinion, the better you're going to be. If you want to trade 1 to 30 days, you got to already accept that you're probably only going to be winning, real number, you're going to be winning in the 50-something% range. If you're good, you might win 58% of the time. It's hard to trade in America 1 to 30 days. Now, that doesn't mean that trading is hard. The easiest trades are going to be 30 days or longer because the market will hear the news and then it'll keep going in the direction that it's supposed to go in. It'll be doing this and and then it'll keep going, right? But you guys will trade in between this period, and during this period, anybody that's got calls are going to lose. Anybody that's got puts, they're going to lose. The market gets too choppy and too volatile. So 1 to 30 days is going to be very, 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 very hard. 30 days or longer is more predictable. I know this is going to sound crazy. Getting in and out the same exact day also is contributing. Because at least if it's getting information is coming in and going out in real time. So you get to see it with your own eyes and you can get out of those trades or into those trades as news starts to come in. You got your TV on, you're in a chat, you're going to get info. I'm in places, guys, all the time where when news comes in, I would say,
I think so, yes.
a minute I'm late on news. Like, a minute.
Yeah, my name's Teresa. What's your name?
News comes out, we get
I won't forget that. My son's name Darius.
Everybody knows that when they golf with me, Joel's gonna have CNBC playing in the background. To be honest, I have played my best rounds when I'm listening to stocks, and my friends joke about that. They're like, don't turn on no stock shows if you don't want Joel to play well. It's something about hearing that money that gives him comfort, and he goes bananas on the course. But it's more controllable. Now, let's say we wanted to trade the S&P 500. Let's get back to the question. So we're going to trade the SPYs. If I'm trading the SPYs, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to trade it. All right, if I was trading the SPY, I'm going to pull up a day chart. And the only trades I'm going to take on the SPY are going to be trades where you flip from one color to another color. So I need a trending indicator. I need a trending indicator like a TTM trend or a Heikenaishi candles. Now, you're gonna need taking calls, period. So that's going to simplify the way that I look at the market. I'm only buying calls if the 200-day moving average is angled up. Now, if you want to tighten up the time frame, there are people that's going to use a 4-hour chart. I don't want to confuse you guys with that right now. All right, you can do any chart, guys, as long as you're consistent. There are going to be people that come in here and say, this chart is better than that chart, and this chart is better than that chart. No, it's not. Whoever is the most consistent is going to make the most money. It can be a 4-hour chart, an 8-hour chart, a day chart, week chart. I don't care. Like, stop listening to people say, this is the dream chart. No, it's not. Just be consistent with what you use. Our real traders will tell you that. Real traders will be like, hey, look, just like singers. Singers can come in and say, you can give me this song, I'll read the heck out of it. You can give me the yellow pages, and I will sing the heck out of the yellow pages. Same thing with traders. If you're a good trader, it don't matter what chart you look at. It doesn't matter if it's an EMA or SMA. Like, I don't even get arguments with beginner traders like that, because that's just everybody wants to sound like they're the best and everybody should use what they use. All right, I show you guys what I use, and then do your thing. Like, I'm never gonna say, why are you using that when you should be using this? I show you guys what I do, because it works for me. Just like it would have worked right here. If I were to trade this, y'all see how this flipped from red to green? Y'all see how all of these candles are red? All of these candles are red, right? We're looking at the spots. So I see that the 200-day moving average is angled up. I'm only taking call trades to the upside. So you have to be very, very patient when you see something like this. And what I try to tell you guys to do, if you want your percentages to be higher than 58 or 59, because it's hard to trade 14 days to 30 days, this is going to give you an edge. All right, instead of catching a falling knife, you're just going to be patient, patient, patient until you start seeing the colors change on the other side of the chart. When they start to change on the other side of the chart, guys, you're going to see it start changing. If you're using the MACD or if you're using, I don't know, the TTM squeeze. So it starts to go green here, it starts to go green there. Bam, you want to make money 6 or 7 days out. There you go, right there. Now, somebody in the comment section is going to say, Joel, that was luck. Everybody and their mama made money during these last 8 or 9 days. And I'm like, word? You might be right. Like, I used to just come back and just be like, man, you don't know me like that. And, meet me somewhere and we'll talk about whose trade is better than whose trade. I'm too old, I can't do that no more. I'll probably get my ass whooped. I'm thinking like Joel from when he was 19 and 20 and he was cock strong. I ain't cock strong 19, 20-year-old Joel that can just run his mouth anymore. I gotta be careful about who I talk to. Because I might get my ass whooped, right? So I said, hey, let's just go back and look at what happened. 1 year and see how many times the thing that you're trading, if you use that strategy, how many times is it going to win, how many times it's going to lose. So if we were to go all the way back to March and we said, all right, Joel, I'm going to do the same thing from last year, how many times is it going to lose? I'm going to show you guys how to, I'm about to back test the SPY with you guys in 5 minutes. All right, we're going to go here. We're going to look at the same trade. It was red here. Y'all see it with your own eyes. It starts to go green. And look, it worked right there. So that's number one. All right, that's number one. You could say that it worked here and here too, because all you need is for a color switch and then back to the other color. It went from green to red. It to do it if it touches. As long as this 200 day is angled up, you can just keep doing this over and over again. That was a 7. This was a 7-day trade. This was a 7 to 14 day trade, and the reason why you want to give yourself time, guys, is in case it just starts running. I'm already in the trade. Let that bad boy keep going.
Yeah.
So that's one trade that popped off. That's 2 trades that popped off. That's 3 trades that popped off. That's 3. You got 4 trades. This one probably, we can say this one lost, all right? So let's just say this one lost, right? Even, because you would have bought it somewhere here. So you're 3 for 4. You're 3 for 4 right now. You're 3 for 4. So then you try it again. You try it again right here. Now you're 4 for 5. You're 5 for 6. You're 6 for 7. You're 6 for 7. Maybe you lose right here.
Let's see, we went down
So
this
you're
way.
6 for 8. What's that? 75% winning percentage. You lose right there. But then you try it again right here. And I know you're like, you don't even have to look at the 200 day no more, because when the 200 day is up, it's telling you calls. All right, calls. 6 for 8, 7 for 9. That percentage is going up again. You would have got in somewhere around here. 8 for 10. You're winning at 80% right now. You're winning at 80%. Then you start going on some losses. Now, here's the thing. If I see it lose like this 2 times in a row, I'm going to chill. Uh-oh. I'm going to chill. Let's see what the chart was doing. That's all the way up until now. So you were 8 for 10. You were 8 for 10. Then you were 8 for 11, 8 for 12. And then all of a sudden it started to pop off again. 9. You just won 9 out of 12 times. I just back tested the S&P 500 in the last year. 9 for. That is a very good winning percentage. 9 for 12. Any trader will take that. The question is, when you lose those 3 times, are you losing your whole account? Can you live to trade another day? Now that's just the S&P 500. That's not other stocks. That's not other indexes. That was one company that gave you 12 trades, which is roughly 1 a month. You had 1 good trade a month for 12 months. Out of those 12 months, there were 2 months where you lost money, and that was January and February, after winning big. Psychologically, how are you going to deal with losing for 60 days?
I found it.
Oh, okay.
That's something that you're going to have to overcome as a trader.
Footprint, like
All right.
like a Bigfoot.
So this is what
we
you
like
should
books?
be doing, guys, when you're
I
going
just
back
thought it
and
was
you're
strange.
testing your
Somebody
strategy.
put on there for granddad.
Year.
I figured let me move out because that is
Go back to last month.
kind of close and it's windy.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Hope that it will work this month. The volatility last month is different from the
Oh, shit,
volatility
Ricky, he told me
this
how to
month.
get out of here,
The
but I'm just gonna
volatility
go back.
last year is different
Said
from
get
the
out here and turn
volatility
left.
this year.
Okay, so make a left.
And I see you guys do it all the time. Y'all will
he
go
said
test the
7
strategy
something.
for last week.
Yeah, of
And
course,
then be
he's
like,
just
I'm
in
good,
case.
Joel. I tested the strategy. I was on the 1 minute chart. For 2 weeks, I would have made money 100% of the time. And then you come in on a Monday and lose all your money. And you're like, yo, I got punched in the
Right,
face
on
and I didn't
33,
know
and it
what
puts
to
right
do
there by
after
Jack's,
that. You
something
didn't go
like that.
back far enough.
On the
So
phone
when you're testing your strategy for day trading, you need to test your day trading
That must be that
strategy
name,
in
Love.
high volatility
No,
conditions
that's the name of
and
church.
low
Oh, okay, because
volatility
somebody had
conditions.
under the
I
mailbox
use my
love.
5-minute
Under the mailbox?
Yeah,
Oh.
like mailbox and the sign that said LOVE.
Oh, it must be then.
So it must be the
But
family.
I know at the cemetery, at the graveyard they call it. You know how they had the around all the graves, and it was stamped love on each one of them. So that might have meant that was all that family, huh?
It could
Have been. I said, well, maybe everybody, they just used the word love on everybody's thing.
Down to a woman. Now, guys, this was Friday. Anybody that lost money on Friday,
And he died in 2017. I remember her telling me he had passed.
see? And I'm not trying to make
Yeah,
fun of
he
you
was a
guys.
nice guy.
I'm just really
Country boy.
like floored when I hear people say that they lost money on Friday. And they
Scott got his ex-wife there and I guess his girlfriend or whoever that's been by his side. He said, I was just so unhappy. Like he said,
everybody like. I get you want to be the black sheep.
there's that word
and you
love
wanna go
again, Chris
against
Love.
what
So
everybody
it
else
must be
is
a big
doing.
family around
big
this
family.
way.
But here's the deal, guys.
But Scott said he's down in Panama City a lot. He works with Kabuta. And he was saying how
You were always the
they
one
got
that
bought
came
out by a
into the
big
game.
company. I told him
And
if
after
there's
the
a
markets
stock, we're going
run,
to look it
you're
up.
buying. Or you
And
would
see,
see somebody
you know,
make a whole bunch of money at
Kabuta,
9:45,
that's
10 o'clock,
like
and you're
John
running there
Deere
and
tractors,
trading.
you know.
And you know what? That's what my mind immediately went to.
Oh,
And
really?
I didn't know because I heard that
And now
name
you're
before.
getting information before everybody gets it. So you used to get it late.
So I had told him before, and she had mentioned it to him whenever, because they come down there to the Crawford area, Ladonia, and do drag racing, the dirt track.
Still, okay.
And so
people that's in here, we're ahead of the game.
I told him I'd come. They just let me know they're there. But he was saying he go to Panama City a lot. If I need him to do anything at the house, anything while he's there, he'd be more than happy to.
For example, I was sitting on information that the GLP-1
If we ever
drugs
have any car trouble,
pills
this way, call me. You know, if we need anything, just call me.
that was going to provide these pills
There's
was a
no more
company
country
called
boys
Structured
sometimes.
Therapeutics. Guys, I was sitting on this information.
And that black guy that came in was the principal of the school.
I figured he was something as far as
They say he really took care of Sandra, you know, making, especially during COVID, everybody going through all that stuff. It
When
was
we
just crazy.
received the information, we
All
had
that
the
extra
information
cleaning they had
back
to
here in
do.
2024.
The world changed
Early
for a while.
2024,
It really
we knew about this pill version coming. Now, if you bought the pill version, if you bought off of that news, you would have bought this stock just off the news, because you had the news way before everybody else was, and it was legitimate information, guys. I had friends that were working in the GLP-1 space, and I was doing consultations, and they were educating me on what was happening in the market and what was coming. So I was sitting on this news when this stock was $50 a share. I made the mistake just like everybody else, and I started buying the stock in the $50 range. Now, just because I had the information doesn't mean that I'm gonna make money. This is what happened when I bought it, having all the news before everybody else. The stock tanked from $50. I knew this, guys, on this spike, because this spike right here was when they was introducing and telling everybody about it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to get in front of everybody. Bought the stock for $50. That bad boy dropped all the way down to $13 a share. So imagine if you had big money in it. Imagine if you had 50,000 in something. Not saying that that's how much I had in it. I'm just saying. Imagine being a baller and you got 500 grand in this. And then you look up and it's worth 250, maybe 130 grand, and you know this news is about to come out. Now you're mad because you're like, yo, I could have just waited until people started actually buying it. And this is what I teach you guys. Just because you have the information does not mean the stock is going to go up. Guys, just because a halving is coming in the cryptocurrency market doesn't mean that it's gonna go up. I tell people, wait until you start seeing people buy crypto because of the halving. Wait until you start seeing people buy the stock. Look at what happened. All I had to do, guys, is use my own method. The same method I've been teaching y'all for years. But even a guru can mess up when he's like, ooh, I got the information before everybody. And look at what the stock did. I could have changed my life in this stock.
It'll be 6.9 miles, you turn right.
The stock went from 50 to 13. At this point, I don't even believe it's coming out with a pill no more. I'm mad at the market. I'm mad at the biotech space. I'm pissed. I'm like, yo, what is going on? When is this information gonna come out? Just like you guys sitting on cannabis right now, waiting for it, waiting for the scheduling to change. Why are you getting in before the scheduling change? Just wait. It's not going to be a one-day event and you lose out on money in cannabis. Wait until they change the scheduling, look and see if people are buying it, and then start buying it. But no, Joel had to sit back and try to get in front of Wall Street. And Wall Street is slower than we are. It got oversold in April of last year. That was the perfect time to buy it. It got oversold. It went down with everything that was going down. But instead of me saying maybe the stock just went down because of the other stocks, I took it off my radar because I'm human and I got mad. And I was like, man, I ain't never buying a biotech stock again. It can go fall in a hole. And then y'all know what happened? This is what happened. This is what happened. And no, I ain't catch none of that. I ain't catch none bit of that.
5 years.
But I had all the information a year before.
Now it's 82. So it's not
All I had to do was use my own silly method. My own silly method. And when we broke that trend, that's when the buying started. The buying started right around, now even here, I could have bought it and I would have been mad, but you're not going to be mad when you see something go from 50 to 15 versus buying something for 24, buying something for $24, and then maybe it's dropping to, I think the lowest it dropped to was 16. So I could have got in at 24. I would have been mad, but I don't think I would have got out if it was at 16. Okay, because 50% down would have took me to 12. I would have known that it was a very speculative stock. And then I could have rolled this bad boy up all the way to the ceiling, to the sky. That mug went, y'all ain't gonna believe it. This bad boy went to $94 without me, and I had all the freaking information on it. Options. I could have bought options. I could have done. I was sitting on this info and got out. Mad. FGLP1. It's just I was listening to TV. It's just a fad. It's just a 1 year. I got sour grapes. I'm mad at it. Angry. Instead of just sitting back and chilling and saying, Joel, you're probably ahead of everybody. You always are ahead of everybody. You've always been that way. Chill. And wait until you start seeing people buying it. And not on TV buying it. Not grandmas on TV. I'm talking about in the charts. You could have even waited until you started to see it here. And when you started to see it take off right here, yes, somebody got it for 16 and you would have had to buy it for 23. But even if you bought it for 23, that bad boy went to 100. You just made 400% return, guys. Guys, y'all know how fast it rose from 23 to 94? In November, it was, September of 2025, it was $23. By by December, so September, October, November, December, you made a 400% return, and you could have bought options on this bad boy. Yes, you could have bought options on this bad boy. You're talking about making fortunes off of that move. Now, here's the thing. I always get information like that. All right, not information because I had a secret freaking meeting with somebody and they were like, yo, there's a GLP-1 pill drug coming out. No, this is just watching TV, listening to people talk about companies like quantum stocks. You guys got to have your ears out. When you hear people talk about, let's talk about quantum real quick. IONQ, my favorite. What could you have done on these charts? You could have sat back and chilled. You could have chilled, just chill. When the 200-day moving average starts to go up and you're using the strategy that I'm using, what? Oh my God, you're talking about making a killing on all of these moves. Breaks the trend, goes up. Breaks the trend, goes up. Breaks this trend, went sideways. Hits the 200-day moving average. Why weren't we buying it? Look at this move. Whoa, wagga. And this is where we are right now. Guess what we just did, guys? We just broke this trend, and look at how many candles we got. Now, I don't know if I trust this move as much as I normally would trust a move, because this RSI is oversold. If it wasn't oversold, guys, I'll tell you guys to get in right there. So we're in it. I'm up, I don't know, 40 or 50%. I'm good. I'm sitting on my IONQ chilling. I'm like, all right, if it comes back to the price I bought it at, I'm gonna have to sell it, and then we'll wait for it to sell off. We're not going to try to catch a falling knife. And when Wall Street decides that they want to start buying this stock again, we're watching it every day because we're doing these lives every day. When people start buying it again and it gets in favor, we'll load the boat again. All right. We've been talking about IONQ since dang November. Guys, we've been talking about IONQ back when it was a higher then. But it was on our radar. You remember how we got the news back in November, guys? You remember? We got the news. A lot of y'all are down because you had the news. You had the news, but Wall Street ain't get the news. They ain't get the memo yet. We got the memo. They the ones that moved the market. So a lot of people lost because just because you went into a live and somebody was talking about it doesn't mean that it's necessarily gonna go up. In fact, it went down from November since the beginning of my lives until just recently. So how come Joel has a 40% return? Because I've been patient about buying it. I learned from Structure Therapeutics. I learned my mistake from AMD. I don't plan to make these mistakes again. Now, I'm going to be honest with you on AMD. A stock is going to go down at some point. So yes, I was in AMD on this whole move to the downside, knowing that it was one of the top semiconductor companies, and it just wasn't getting any freaking love. And of course, because I was down over 50 or 60%, I had to sell. And guess what happened, guys? This is what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. It's at all-time highs. I got out in the 75 range. That bad boy is sitting on $275. I messed up in IONQ. No, I'm sorry. I messed up in AMD. I messed up in Structure Therapeutics. Now, I don't plan to mess up too many other times. That y'all caught me slipping. Now, I don't have all of my funds in one stock, guys. Please don't think that this whole AMD brought my whole account down. In fact, the year that AMD went down like that, I had one of the most profitable years ever in my portfolio. I just could have made even more. I was hot. I was like, AMD, you stopped me from getting a triple double. I was one rebound away from getting a triple double, and you messed me up. So be careful, all right? Do I have it now? No, because I have to be honest. I be getting emotional about these stocks, yo. When they lose me money, it's so many other stocks out there. I'm like, AMD can go fall in a hole. Like, I probably will never buy it again. That's just me. I'm like, you lose me money, you don't get to be part of my. When we on the rise, you can't be part of this team anymore. It's something about your stock and your CEO that lost me money. I ain't dealing with you no more. But that's just, you gotta know yourself. I feel like I was in NVIDIA. So it didn't matter. I made money off of Broadcom, NVIDIA. I told y'all, it wasn't like my portfolio was down. It's just that I didn't get a triple double. And I was hot. I want to win all the time. I want all my stocks to win. I don't want no losers. Right now, the biggest loser in my portfolio is Wingstop. And in fact, guys, Wingstop has come back. Wingstop has come back. I talk about it the most because it's the biggest loser in my portfolio. Luckily, them damn wings taste good. Look at what Wingstop's doing. Look at God on a Sunday. The what would Joe do method just popped off. Oh yeah, like the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah. That bad boy is on the rise. I bet you it ain't on none of y'all's radar. Because it's not supposed to. It wants to make money when everybody has their eyes on something else. That's just how stocks do. It's never a one-day event. It just creeps up without anybody knowing. And I promise y'all, we gonna look up and y'all gonna laugh. Wingstop gonna end up being the biggest performer. Well, nah, it will never be the biggest performer because it ain't gonna go up 3,000% like my NVIDIA. It might be number 2. It ain't gonna overtake it. I'm not selling NVIDIA ever because I like to stunt on other investors when they come in and they try to say something, and I'll be like, do you have a 3,000% return? I have a 3,500% return. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done this right here? See this receipt right here? Right here, this one right here. It says 3,513%. Boy, I be making teachers mad. They be like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I be like, have you got a 3,000% return? Then they shut up after that. Do you have a 1,000%? A 100? Show me a 35% return, and I might listen to what you got to say. 35, 40. Show me a 40% return in something. Anything. Using the What Would Joe Do method, I bought it March 16th, 2000. Well, that portion, I should be up higher than that. I bought that portion March 16th, 2020, the lowest price you could have bought NVIDIA since then. The lowest price you could have bought it in like, I don't know, however many years. Caught it good. And y'all know when I put money into something, it's no less than 10 grand minimum. That's just my number. Everyone should aspire to have a number that they invest. So when you guys start investing, I don't want you guys coming into the market. Now, do whatever it takes to be able to buy stock. Like, guys, investing in the market is what's going to build your wealth. It's not trading. Trading is going to give you the skill set to be able to buy these fundamentally good companies, but wealth is built from investing. All right, so I always want to make sure that I let you guys know that. But also, when you're investing, you have to have a goal. So when I invest, the reason why I do 10 grand, and I had to work up to that number. Our family had to, it's not just me, my family, we had to work up to that 10 grand number because we started with 100. And then once you're used to investing $100, then you can say, all right, every time I buy a stock, I'm going to do 1,000, because when you invest that 100, I'm looking for companies that can grow 10 times their value. So every time I invest $1, I'm expecting it to be worth $10 in the future. So the more money I put into the market, I can add a zero. If I invest I already know if I invest $100,000 in my lifetime, that's gonna get you to $1 million. Most of us can get to 100 grand. Even if you were putting away, I don't know, 10 grand is a lot for 10 years, but 10 grand for 10 years is 100 grand. If you can hold on to companies that have growth potential, you can probably get to that mill in like 10 or 15 years with that investment. All right, if you keep doing it over and over and over again, you're going to start adding more and more to it. So I'm like, well, shoot. I don't want my, I want my 10 grand to be worth 100 grand. And then one day I want to be able to come in here and really stunt and be like, all right, guys, I have leveled up. Every investment is now 100 grand. And now I'm looking for these $100,000 investments to get to $1 million, each one. All right. And then one day I'll come in, I might be 87 and a half years old. And I'll be like, every investment is $1 million. And I'm using my $10 million Bitcoin to do it. I got 10 trades. Because that's how long it's going to take for y'all Bitcoin to be worth $1 million. Your diamond hand holders. All right. All jokes aside, hopefully I was able to answer your question. Let's go all the way back. G7, the one and only, was asking us about 7-day trades, and I think that the day chart, in my opinion, is going to be the universal chart that you guys use. But even when you're trading it, even on this trade, normally I wouldn't take a trade. I'm investing in this, so this wasn't a trade that I took. This is an investment. I normally would not take this Wingstop trade here, but I'm telling you guys, if you're breaking away from a major average, or you're coming into that major average, you can do the same thing to the short side. I might not short things that have a 200-day angled up, but look at this short. Even though you would have lost on this one. Well, nah, not if you went out 14 days. You see how this would have protected you? Look at this. If I had taken this trade, this is a good one. This is a day chart. This right here is a day chart. Let's say I wanted to be in this trade for 7 days. And I take the trade right here. And I'm risking it all. I'm not risking 50%. I'm like, Joel, I'm risking it all, buddy. Great. And you take that trade, and immediately the first 2 days it goes against you. And I promise you, this was probably some tweet that Trump made that made the market get really, really positive. That happened in 2 days. If you were trading 7 days out, you probably would lose. But on the 14th day, guys, this is day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm only assuming 14 for 14, right? I'm not really looking at the dates 14 days out. At least you got around break even 2 weeks out. If you had gone 21 days out or 30 days out like you should be doing, you would have still been able to catch this move to the downside. If I was trying to catch this one to the upside, even though you go 21 to 30 days out, the catalyst is happening, you got options. You're like, dang, I got in on day 3, and on day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, Wingstop went up. It went from guys, Wingstop went from $150 to $190 in 7 days. The return that it gave you during that time, the return it gave you was a 30% return. Wingstop ran 30% in freaking 7 days. Even though you went 30 days out, I promise you, them options is up big. And you can choose to stay in it. You can sell a couple of options if you're in them. Or you can just take all your profit now and be out of it, especially if you're up over 100 or 200%. I don't know. I don't know what the strikes were or how much it made during that particular time. But that would have been your option. All right. Everybody's asking what's the next NVIDIA. Everybody's been saying IONQ is that company. Please don't go out there and buy it because I'm telling you to buy it. Arguably, this is what everyone is saying. And the only reason is this. They're saying companies like IONQ and companies like D-Wave is going to be the leaders of quantum. That's the only reason why they're doing this. NVIDIA is the leader in AI. Everyone wants a leader. We come from a government, we come from a country where we like to have one person that we look up to, and that's who we're gonna, that's just how we are. That's just how we are, right? We got one God, right? We got one president. We have one CEO of a company. There's never 2 or 3 CEOs. There's always one leader. It's NVIDIA. It can't be NVIDIA and Apple and Microsoft. It's NVIDIA's the leader. Jensen Huang, you are the leader. Elon, you are the leader of electric vehicles in America. Even though Ford and General Motors got electric vehicles, the electric vehicle person is Elon. When it comes to rockets, it's SpaceX. It's not even NASA. All right. When it comes to wings, it's Wingstop. When it comes to burgers, it's McDonald's. When it comes to quantum, it's IONQ. So if quantum is going to be life-changing, then this would be the life-changing company if it goes into effect. So here's the thing. We already did the numbers. All right. Let's do the numbers, right? We already did the numbers. IONQ is worth, do y'all remember what the market cap was? IONQ's market cap is, and I'm going to pull up the chart for you. IONQ's market cap is $16 billion. All right. So let's do the math. Let's do the math. That means, I don't know, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, let's say it has, so if it goes up to 20 billion, that means it's going to go up 25%. So what's 25% of $46? Somebody do the math for me. That's like half of that's 23, like 12. So that's going to, okay, so you're talking about $60, right? So at $60 a share, I'm just trying to do the math. At $60 a share, IONQ is going to be a $20 billion market cap company. So let's do the math. Let's do the math right now. All right, y'all got to help me with this because I don't have a calculator. Help me out in the comment section. So if it's $60 a share right now, and let's say I invest, I don't know, how can I make this easy? Let's just say we invest $1,000 in it right now. All right. Let's say you had $1,000. If this company is going to be anything like NVIDIA, that means it has to get to $1 trillion in market cap. All right, I'm gonna need some help. I am good in math, but I've been struggling lately. Let's do the math. At $20 billion a market, at $20 billion in market cap, this is going to be $60 a share. All right. Let's say we invest $1,000 into it when it gets to $20 billion in market cap. And let's say it goes from 20 billion to 100 billion. If it goes from 20 billion to 100 billion in size, that's 5 times your money. That $1,000 is going to be worth 5,000. Okay, I'm right, right? So if we go from 20 billion in market cap to 100 billion in market cap, that means 20 billion divided by 100 billion is 5 times your money. That means your $1,000 is going to be worth 5,000. Now here's the thing. Nvidia is $4 trillion in size. If this is going to be the next Nvidia, it has to be worth at least $1 trillion. So when it gets to $1 trillion in market cap, your $5,000 is gonna now be worth $50,000. So if you think that IONQ can get to $1 trillion in market cap, they said in 5 or 6 years when quantum really takes off, $1,000 could be worth 50 grand in maybe 10 or 15 years. Now here's what's even crazier. What if it becomes bigger than Nvidia, and it goes from $1 trillion in market cap to 10 trillion in market cap? Now you're talking about your $1,000 being worth $500,000. I'm gonna take a shot at IONQ with $1,000, cause I'm like, if that $1,000 can be worth 500K one day, 20 years from now, I don't know. That means $10,000, which is my minimum, might give me $5 million in one stock, because I said, let me take a shot at it with 10 grand that it took me years to get up to, because now everything that I invest in is 10 grand. What if I mess around and invest in all the quantum companies that builds this companies, and I invest 10 here and 10 here and 10 there, and let's just say those only get to about 100 billion. You'll have 5 million over here. And then if I do 10,000 in some of these smaller companies, I might get another 100 grand over there, 100 grand over there, maybe $1 million right there. That's just being involved in quantum.
Right.
Maybe with 100 grand. This is how my mind thinks. This is how my mind thought back when Tesla and Nvidia were $25 billion companies. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it 100%. I ain't never think we was gonna get to $1 trillion in market cap. I was basing the $1 trillion market cap happening when I was basing it happening 20 years from now. But sometimes you just get lucky, and the market just goes stupid in companies. Guys, it took Apple its whole entire history to get to $1 trillion in market cap. It took 30 years. Apple, Microsoft, Google, they all hit $1 trillion in market cap during COVID. These stocks spent their whole lives trying to get to $1 trillion. And do y'all know within 1 year they went from $1 trillion to $2 trillion? Nvidia wasn't even $1 trillion company, but investors were like, well, if Apple and Microsoft and Google can be worth $1 trillion, Nvidia is the face of AI. Then the face of AI needs to be deserved, and it's a profitable company. It needs to be worth more than $1 trillion. At one point, it was a joke, guys. Apple would hit $1 trillion, and then people would take their money out of it, put it into Google. Then Google hit $1 trillion in market cap. Then they rolled their money out of that one and said, who else needs to hit $1 trillion? Microsoft, you're next. Then Microsoft hit $1 trillion. Then they was like, who didn't hit $1 trillion yet? Amazon was like, me. Even though I think Amazon was 1 or 2, Amazon was like, me. It's my turn to hit $1 trillion. Investors said, all right, let's put money into you. Now you're going to be worth $1 trillion. And then they said, all right, nobody else is going to get to $1 trillion, just the top 5. And then everybody got bored with it because then they started hitting $2 trillion and $4 trillion. So then they said, all right, who's next? Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, you get to be worth $1 trillion. Broadcom, you've been messing with Apple for all of these years. You get to hit $1 trillion in market cap. Who else hit $1 trillion? We had Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google. Oh, I forgot, Meta, you're the face of social media. You get to hit $1 trillion in market cap. It was a joke, guys. Like, money was rotating into the companies that didn't do it yet. And then GLP-1, you're the face of GLP-1. Eli Lilly, guess what? You get to hit $1 trillion in market cap. And it just kept going over and over again. And now there are companies like Broadcom that y'all have never heard of. They hit $1 trillion in market cap. Do y'all understand what $1 trillion is? That's like a ridiculous amount of money, right? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. If you invest in something, this is real talk. If you invest in something, and I gotta be careful how I say this, all right? Market cap. The market cap, the way that market cap number comes about is if you take the shares and you multiply it times the stock price, that gives you the market cap of the company. If you own shares in that company, as that market cap goes up in value, you can tell exactly how much your investment is going to be worth when that market cap gets to that number. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I was able to see with my own eyes up to this day. You don't need to have $4.5 trillion invested in NVIDIA for NVIDIA to be worth $4.5 trillion. Now, a lot of you guys, this is why the stock market has always been a for real type thing and a joke when we see all of these companies hit these $1 trillion market caps. In my opinion, right now, the market is getting manipulated to the upside because you can use a little bit of money and move the whole market. And you don't need to have all of those funds to make that value get there. Which is why the real estate market did what it did, right? If everybody decided to run to the bank and ask for their money, like guys, banks don't have everybody's balance in their accounts. But if everybody ran to get their money, the market would go down. If everybody decided to sell their shares of Apple at the price that it is right now, you're not going to be able to do it because you're just not going to be able to do it, right? So it's not actual. There's not $4.5 trillion in Apple, $3 trillion in this company, $2 trillion in Bitcoin. But the value of it is there depending on your investment. It's scary, but at the same time, it makes you think, well, we might see a company get to a quadrillion-dollar market cap. Like, I joke about it all the time. Like, guys, there's not even a quadrillion dollars, circulating in America. But then I think to myself, but could we make it go to a quadrillion? If you own something and it goes to a quadrillion-dollar market cap and you personally sold it that day, you will profit off of it at that market cap. However, if everybody decide to sell at a quadrillion-dollar market cap, we're all not going to be able to get our money. All right, I want you guys to think about that. The market cap is real. The market cap is real when it comes to you selling or whatever the value is of your investment. But if we all decide to sell that day, we ain't all going to be able to get our money. So that's why it's important that PE ratios, just like market caps, PE ratios are a joke. Nobody looks at PE ratios no more. PE ratios are a big joke. It used to be popular in the 80s and 90s. I think PE ratios after the real estate market crisis happened, I'll say this, and I'm going to give my opinion. You can look at a PE ratio sometimes. You got to hear what they're saying. Like, you got to hear all the information behind the company. If the company is growing at 20% a year, and they're trying to value what that company can be at a certain amount of time, you can see a company with guys, Palantir had 100 PE ratio for like a long time. NVIDIA had like a 50 or 60 PE ratio, but every time earnings would come out, they will say they're growing even fast. Like, people will say, guys, NVIDIA after its earnings is cheaper than it was the day before, even though it had a 50 or 60 PE ratio. I don't want to confuse you guys. That's why I don't teach it. I don't teach PE ratios because nobody cares about it no more. It's like an appraisal from like nobody. It's not a real number that's going to tell you exactly. I'll say this. If you're a PE ratio expert, do your thing. Because I don't want to argue with anybody in the comment section about PE ratios, betas, because everything it's a gray area with everything. Even with market cap, it's gray. Because even though Bitcoin has a $2 trillion market cap, if we all decided to sell our Bitcoin today, we all ain't about to pull $2.5 trillion out of Bitcoin. But if you're in it and it's up at that particular price, whatever that price is today, because you're the one of 1 million people that are selling that day, you'll be able to sell it at that ridiculous market cap. But if we all decide to sell it, then it's going to be a problem. PE ratios are the same thing. The number used to be when a company, like we used to be able to look at a PE ratio, which is the price to earnings ratio. We all used to be able to look at a PE ratio, look at how much money, look at how much the company had in cash reserves. If the company had a PE ratio anywhere under 20, we said that it was cheap. Well, I can give y'all 50 stocks right now that's got a PE ratio less than 20, and they ain't doing nothing. And then I can show you guys 50 companies with 100 PE ratio, and that's where all the money is being made. Like all the AI data stocks, like their PE ratios are through the roof because they're expecting that industry to grow. So the price to earnings ratio is just limitless, depending on if money is going to keep flowing into it. And then the more and more every company decides they're going to, and it's a game to them. They're all working with each other. I don't even know if you guys notice it. NVIDIA is in bed with Microsoft, that's in bed with Apple, that's in bed with Amazon. Like they're all in bed with each other. And then they're all investing in each other. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, but they're trying to make sure that they stay on top. It used to be everybody was separated. Now it's like, nah, Jensen, you gonna push AI and you gonna make everybody money until it's my turn. Facebook was pushing everybody when everybody was talking metaverse and this, that, and the other during the 2020 crisis until everybody decided the metaverse wasn't going to be as big as it was going to be. It just depends on what's hot and what's not. Amazon will have its day. Microsoft will have its day again. Apple will have its day again. They're just sitting back and chilling and letting other leaders lead until it's time for them to lead again. And then money just rotates in their space when it's time for them to lead. Right now, it's all about Jensen Huang. And Jensen Huang, I'm going to be honest with you, he sat back and chilled. He wasn't obnoxious. He waited his turn. And when he decided, and then when AI took off, everybody backed him. All the AI companies, like there was no ill will. They just said, you got it. You checkmate. And if you're not invested in what this guy is invested in, then you're going to get left behind. Which is why daily we always talk about what is NVIDIA investing in. We always want to know what the number one company is investing in, and then we want to know when the number one company sells it. A lot of you guys got into SoundHound. All right, a lot of you guys got into SoundHound, and SoundHound was a great investment when NVIDIA was in it. We made a killing in SoundHound right here. Do y'all know when NVIDIA got out? NVIDIA got out right there at the top. As soon as we broke this trend, we should have been out of SoundHound. I was out of SoundHound. I know a lot of you guys that were on some of my earlier lives. There's a lot of people that's pissed at me right now because they came in early. They heard about SoundHound when I was buying it, and I was showing my receipts every day. And then when I got out of it, they might have taken 3 months off, and they were like, oh, I'm going to take a break from trading and investing. Then they came back 3 months later, and the stock is sitting down here. And they blaming me for it. I'm like, yo, we've been out of SoundHound since early January. Where you been? It's April. And now I'm the bad guy because you don't want to do your homework. Like, do your homework. You understand how stuff works. Draw a trend line. If it breaks the trend and you're still in it and nobody else in the room is in it, it's 20 of us, 19 of us got in and out. You're the only one that didn't get out, but we the bad guys. Like, y'all need to start learning how to take accountability for your own actions. All right, that's one thing that really makes me rant when grown adults be blaming other adults for their shortcomings. Be a man, be a woman, and own up to your mistakes. You're gonna make more money in the future because of it. All right, that's why we're here. We're here to learn how to be accountable for our own actions. We're gonna learn how to take this information and not buy it because I got 100 people watching and it seems like he's legitimate. No, we're gonna teach you how to take this information and what to do with it. And then you gotta provide a strategy that everybody in the room agrees with, because the room will cut you down now. If you like, I'm buying this because of that, they'll be like, yo, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And I don't even have to say it. All right, what is your strategy? I just want to gamble. Cool. If you just said, look, I just want to have fun. I don't care if I lose it or I don't. Great. But that's how you appear to be. And then you start bashing everybody when things don't go your way. All right. But we're not going to do that in here. Nope. That's why I had to create a whole nother room with my own space that I had control over, because of the negativity that comes with this particular game. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, there's way more positivity that comes than the negativity. It's just that everybody doesn't have the thick skin that I have. Some of you guys feel bad at the punishment that I get. And I'm like, don't feel bad for me. I'm used to this. This don't bother me. Anyway, it doesn't bother me. But you got to learn what to do. But yeah, SoundHound dropped in price. Ain't nobody buying SoundHound right now unless we see something in the charts. So what's happening in the charts with SoundHound right now? Let's say you came on a live, you heard about SoundHound. You're wondering why everybody's buying it. We were buying it because NVIDIA was buying it. NVIDIA is no longer in SoundHound. That means Joel there's no need for me to be in it. If NVIDIA don't want nothing with it, want to do with it, then Joel don't want to have nothing to do with it. This is SoundHound. I was using SoundHound earlier yesterday. We was at a band competition, and right before my son came out and performed with his drum line at his in his college, the DJ was playing all types of music, and I was like, oh man, I ain't heard that song in a minute, but I didn't know the name of the song. So I would pull out my SoundHound app. The SoundHound app would tell me what the song is, and if I liked it, I would go into TikTok. I mean, not TikTok. Because I know there's a lot of young folks and it's Sunday and I ain't trying to have music that's cursing. You know, I got my murder, shoot 'em up music that I listen to, but I try to refrain from playing that music during these sessions. But you could buy SoundHound right here if you wanted to, in my opinion, if I was buying it. Would I buy it right here? Probably not. It is breaking the trend line and it is going green. So I would say this is a 50-50 trade. But I tend to stay away from things that don't have a catalyst. There's no reason for me to buy SoundHound because nobody's buying it. Now, I could say people are buying it now, and this might be the turnaround. So that's why I said if you're going to get in it, this is a great entry. Don't get me wrong. You're breaking a trend. It's going green. Buy it. But the reason why I don't buy things hoping that it catches on. I buy things because these people are going to make it catch on. Like, that's the difference. If NVIDIA and Apple and Microsoft and Google are buying it, they have the type of power to make even a mediocre company big. I've seen it happen. So I'm like, yo, if they can turn mediocrity into something advanced, then I'm gonna invest in what they invest in. All right, and NVIDIA's not in it, so there's no need for Joel to be in it. What is NVIDIA buying? NVIDIA is buying. This is their number one investment right now. This is NVIDIA's number one investment. What do you guys notice in the charts? You notice that the what would Joel do method or trade just popped off. And this company is CoreWeave. It's the 200-day moving average is angled down, which I don't like, but it looks like people started to buy it right around here. Guys, I'm already up 40% in CoreWeave, and I only been in this thing I've only been in it for like a week or two. I think. I gotta go look at the date that I bought it. I just know I'm up 40%. I might be wrong on when I got in. Y'all know I be messing up dates sometimes. Maybe I got in over here. Maybe I got in on this entry in March and I've been in it for 30 days. I don't know. All I know is I bought it in this 80 range and now that bad boy's sitting at 120. I got a free trade. That means it can come all the way back to where I bought it, whether it was 1 week ago or 3 months ago, and I'm good. It's the number one company they're investing in. I didn't have to buy it the day that I found out they were the number one company they were investing in. Remember, I made that mistake in Structure Therapeutics. I made that mistake in AMD. Just because you have the information that this is their number one company they're buying does not mean you buy it that day. Wait until it sells off. They're probably gonna come and buy more. So I'm in it, and everybody that's in the group chat that's with me, they know when I bought it. They know that I said I was buying it. If you're in that group chat and you're a super fan, I talk about everything I'm buying. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's no reason for me to feel like I shouldn't tell them that I'm buying this, because if I tell them that I'm buying this and I'm wrong, I'm gonna lose all of my followers. Guys, y'all see all these y'all know how many times I gotta be wrong before I stop doing this, before I hang up my gloves and say, guys, I can't do this no more. I can't call out great trade. Guys, I've been calling out great trades for like a decade. I still got a whole nother decade of renting. So I don't care if I talk about a stock that loses money. Who cares? So what? It's not gonna make me take over. Joel, you gotta give us back your guru card. Give it back. Give us back your guru card. We know that you're up 3,400% in NVIDIA, but you were wrong in IONQ. And let's not forget Jumia and Neo. Man, I had somebody clown me because of a Neo trade, and y'all know what is Neo doing today? I remember this, man. I had somebody clown the heck out of me. Tried to create a video off of this NEO trade. Yeah, NEO is doing bad, but this is what I'm telling you. Somebody was probably listening to a live when we were talking about electric car companies during COVID. Now, during COVID, 2021, NEO was a $66 company. Everybody and their mama, including myself, was pushing this company. We were pushing this company because this is what happened. Now, we made money in it, but I'm gonna tell you how your novice beginner or investor is going to operate. They're gonna come in, they're gonna see you talking about NEO way down here. So they're gonna watch you make money from $10 all the way up to $70. So the first month, they're not gonna buy. They wanna see what you're doing. The next month, they're not gonna buy because they wanna see what you're doing. The next month, they're not gonna buy. They wanna see what you're doing. They finally decide, you know what, at the beginning of the year, I'm going to get into trading. I've been following this guy for a while. It's September, October, November, December. He's showing his 300, 400% return in NEO. I think I'm going to buy some. In fact, I'm going to take out a line of credit on my home and buy some NEO. Because if this fool made a 400% return, what you think my 100 grand's going to be? I can pay off my house. This is what y'all do. Then they buy it here at 60. They're over leveraged. They come into the room and I'm live. Now they don't tell nobody how much they invested, right? So now it goes from $50 to $30. They don't tell you how much they invested because they are embarrassed. But then they're in the comment section and they're like, they're trying to be cool. They're like, Joe, can you show us a chart of NEO? And I don't respond to them. Just like I didn't respond to Wesley yet. I haven't responded to Sue. I haven't responded to JJ Jones yet. Hopefully y'all don't think I'm arrogant because of that. I just can't get to everybody's questions. So then it goes from 50, their $100,000 goes to $50,000. And nobody wants to sell after they just lost $50,000. What are you gonna do? I got a line of credit on this bad boy. I gotta hold it until it comes back. The electric car space is going up.
Yes, back, Joe.
China is big on electric cars. So you're trying to find all the positives to stay in the company because you can't afford to sell the 50. You can't afford it to take the 50 and put it into something else. So then the stock drops, and the stock drops, and the stock drops. You haven't told your spouse. I'm not saying it's a male or a female. Even though, never mind, I don't even want to go there. We're just going to assume that this is an individual. And then your stock drops. And then your stock drops. And now you're angry at me. You're angry at anybody that comes on lives and talks about, you should buy this, you should buy this. This happens on an everyday basis. Take the accountability and say, look, you were sold on the company. You were over leveraged. No one should put all your eggs in one basket. This individual decided that they were going to take the next pitch no matter what. They were taking the next pitch and they didn't have the bases loaded in the 9th inning and they know that they're going to win. They didn't take this trade that way. They took this trade by saying, I got to hit a home run in the bottom of the 9th inning, or else. That's it. I'm getting traded. And that's what happened. You over-leveraged yourself. You didn't put yourself in position to make money. Now, it's starting to come around now. But imagine if you put 100 grand and something at $50, and this bad boy is at $6. And you're waiting for it to go back to 50 just to get your money out. And you've been paying that line of credit every month. You're gonna hate any and everybody. And I used to have to fight this negative energy all the time. It doesn't affect me no more. When you're in this game for that long, you start to realize people are just people and they gonna do what they want to do. And I can't get my emotions wrapped up around how you do things in life. I used to take in all that pain. I'm sitting there, I can't sleep at night now because you losing money. And nobody in no educational class has ever said take a line of credit out and put it on something that we don't even know if it's going to be around in the future or not. That's on you. That's on you. I've seen you guys go after leaders, after people. Now, there are some shady characters that are out there. There are, right? They'll take your money in classes. Like, those are the people that I have issues with. I don't have issues with people calling out things that they like Kramer. Y'all hate Kramer. And I'm like, why do y'all hate Kramer so bad? Like, Kramer comes on every night and pretty much does what I do. I feel like I'm like the black Kramer. Like, why do y'all hate Kramer so much? Because he got all of those different sounds in the background? Right? Like, the man has been averaging 30% a year. He told you to buy Bitcoin. He told you to buy NVIDIA. He literally created the Mag 7. Y'all know the name, the Mag 7? Or Fab 7 or Fab 5 or whatever the heck it was, Mag 7. He came up with that. You know how many billions and millions of dollars he made for people by telling them to buy NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Google in the last 15 years? He told y'all to buy Bitcoin. He bought it and kept telling y'all, I'm buying Bitcoin. And then when he sold it, he was like, I'm selling it at these highs and I'm going to go buy a farm with it. He told you what he was going to do with the money, but y'all hate him. Because you came on one day, you bought a stock that he suggested that you should buy. You lost money. Now he's the bad guy. The man comes on every night and educates. And y'all hate him. Hate him. Like, I could talk to 10 people, 6 people will hate him. 2 people will say he okay, 2 people will watch it. And he educates every single night. Every night. Every night, this cat, Monday through Friday, this cat be on TV for 3, 4, 5 hours a day trying to make y'all some money. But y'all hate him. That's an inside thing, guys. That has nothing to do with him. That has everything to do with y'all. All right, let me get to your questions. Very important. All right, what time is it? 6? I can go on a little bit longer. All right, because I went on y'all know this is Sunday. y'all know I'm gonna give a sermon on Sundays. I got a lot of preachers in my family. It's in my blood. All right, what are some of your all right, Wesley, let's get to your Moderna. All right, so Moderna, guys. Let's get to your questions again. Moderna. So Moderna was big. Moderna was big in the stock world. In the stock world when Moderna was big in the stock news when the COVID vaccine needed to be made. But then once everybody started getting vaccines and we started to say, man, F COVID. I ain't seen a person wear a mask since 2022. All right. Soon as we didn't got COVID about 2 or 3 times, cats was like, man, that first strain, yeah, I'm kind of scared of that first strain. But the first strain's gone. These little weak strains of COVID, man, I don't even need to go take. Y'all don't even go and take your vaccines anymore. Like, y'all bump it. I'll get COVID. I'll be sick for about 3 days and then I'm out of here. So the stock has plummeted because don't nobody care about the vaccine no more. However, that's not the question that Wesley is asking. Wesley is asking about a trade. This is important because what I'm doing right now is giving you my opinion on why the stock as an investment is not a great investment at this particular time. However, Wesley says, I don't care about the investment, Joel. I care about this April 24th call. So, what he's doing is he's looking for unusual options activity. So I'm going to show you guys something. If you've never learned how to do this, you're going to learn it today. What is unusual options activity? All right. The SEC right now is trying to investigate someone within the Trump administration that bought a bunch of oil options right before he tweeted that the Strait was going to get extended for 2 weeks. You're able to see those contracts go off in the options market. Now, you can't see it if it's on the weekend. So that's another thing that they've been doing recently. Have y'all noticed that a lot of great and bad information is coming out on Saturdays? Not during the week when the market is open, where people like you and I can look in here and see unusual options activity. You're starting to see them do, well, I'm not saying them, you're starting to see some crazy stuff happening on Saturdays. Market's not open, futures markets isn't open. The perfect time to manipulate the market. Now here's what's crazy. And you can have your opinion about, like, I'm not here to say if I like Donald or don't like Donald. Well, I don't like him, but who cares what I think? I want to make money in this administration, so I gotta deal with what the public, who the public put in office. The public put him in office. I gotta deal with it, and I gotta make money with it, right? So, you know, this administration has already shown that if you're part of what the administration wants to do, then you're just going to get pardoned later for it. So when you do corrupt stuff, if you knew that you were going to get pardoned later, that's the type of position there. And they're like, we didn't pardon people for worse stuff than making a couple of $1 million off of an oil trade. You think the president's scared of an oil insider trading option deal? Like, he don't care. Like, you really think he cares about that? He got other stuff on the table that he's dealing with, that he's pardoning people for. So of course you're gonna see this type of stuff happening for the next 4 years. And I keep telling everybody, the volatility is here to stay. Guys, learn how to do this stuff because it's going to be interesting for the next 2.5 years. Take advantage of it. You might not like it, but you know what the playbook is. The playbook is, it is what it is. It's the wild, wild west right now. So I'm not saying do things that's going to get you in trouble. That's illegal. I'm saying there's illegal activity that's happening around you. So you don't get all mad and angry when you see it. Just know that it's happening. And then when you see it, you can say, what is the legal way of me being able to benefit off of this? If they want to push Bitcoin to $1 million a coin, I'm going to be in Bitcoin. If they want to push oil to $200, or if they want to short it they want to push it down 14% in one. He told y'all the week before what he was going to. Y'all realize the week before he told you what he was going to do. He said, just wait, guys. This war is going to end soon, and oil's going to drop a whole bunch. Just watch. He told you 10 days before it happened. He told you the playbook. That was like, Mr. President, you can't go out there and tell them what we about to do. He was like, you know who I am? I can do whatever I want to do. I can put out a post of me portraying Jesus and then come out and say I'm a doctor. I'm gonna take a picture.
He sure did try to change it.
I'm ranting not because I'm trying to put my politics out there. I'm ranting to tell you guys, y'all better make money off this crap and quit and take your emotions out of it. If that dude come out and say this is what oil buy, y'all better search for unusual options activity in the oil market and see how you can capitalize off of it legally. He the president, the one that said oil gonna drop big time soon. What? I want to see if this happens. And I was like, damn, 14% in one day. He was right. Last year he said the same thing. He said y'all need to be buying stock soon because it's about to go up. He didn't say it in those words, but we all got the memo. We all were in the market last April when the market went down, and that cat was like, the market's about to explode in price. You either gonna make money or not. You can like me or not, the market's going through the roof. And then the market went up for a whole year, and get this, it dropped again the same week it dropped last year. All year long, what did we keep saying? We kept saying, guys, history loves to repeat itself. Last year, the market dropped in April. It's probably going to drop in March or April again, because once cats make millions of dollars, you don't think they trying to run the same play again? Y'all ever watch football? And you have those football games where you go to the football games and they'll run somebody down the middle. And then the very next play, they'll run him down the middle again. That's like no respect. They're like, yo, if I'm gonna get 5, 6, 7 yards every time we run, then you just gotta stop it. Same play. Just move the tight end over this way this time. Put this person in motion, but it's the same play. Stop it. If you can't stop it, if I see something working, why am I gonna not keep running it? That's like dumb. Like nobody in sports, nobody does that. When you see somebody running something, they gonna keep running it. If Curry is hot, and he hitting threes, keep shooting the three, Curry, until he stops making the shots. You golfers out there, if your driver working, you better keep pushing that driver. I don't care if it's a 240-yard par 4. I hit 260. You hitting it straight, right? You better choke down on that mug. All right. All jokes aside, I want you guys to look down my chinny chin chin. Yeah, they ain't pardoning us, but I can watch what they doing. Look down my chin. You're gonna see something unusual. What is the biggest number that you guys see? All right, I'm gonna stop talking crap. I'm gonna look at you guys' stocks. It's 6:15. I'm gonna look at you guys. I'm gonna look at every stock that you guys put in the comment section, but for at least the next 15 minutes. What's the biggest number that you guys see? 21,000. What are we looking at? We are legally is the key word. We are legally looking at something that might not be legal. We don't know. We don't even care to know. I don't want to know who bought this. I don't know who's buying it, why they buying it. I just see what I see. And I see 20,000 contracts being bought at the 56 strike. Now, the stock is at 53 right now. So if it just so happens to go to 56 on Monday, and I take that trade, you're not going to get in trouble. You know why? Because you're going to say, look, Mr. SEC, I was on Joel Harrison's live. Y'all going to put it on me. I was on Joel's live, and Joel's the one that pulled up the options chain, and Joel said, look down my chin. In fact, I think TikTok records all the sessions. Just go look at his session. He was talking about this live. I saw the number. It was big. I decided I was just going to take the trade too. Y'all gonna put everything on me. Now I got to have all the feds in my dough. We hear you've been telling everybody about these unusual options activity. Can you explain to us how you were able to get this, provided this information? Now I gotta go on TikTok, pull up the lives, show them the whole process. Like, nah, for real, I've been teaching this for years. All right, unusual options activity 56. I'm like, I learned it from the Nigerian brothers, and they're on CNBC. And they look, here's the book right here. They gave me a free book, and the book right here teaches you how to find unusual options activity. You be throwing everybody under the bus. John Nigerian and his brother, and they both got ponytails. They used to play in the NFL. That's who I learned it from. And then Wesley was on my live. I think his last name is. You might want to talk to Wesley too. No, guys, you can't get in trouble by looking at the volume. All right, Robin Hood pulls up the volume. Thinkorswim. We've been looking at volume for years. All right, you cannot get in trouble by looking at the volume. All right. All jokes aside, you cannot get in trouble by looking. Wesley Fancher, I think that's his last name. F-A-N. Here's the dates he was on the live. Nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, the 56 strike is the one that everybody is buying. Now here's the thing. What I don't like is, let's say you're day trading and you're looking for that 56 strike. If the 56 strike already hit, like it did yesterday, then I always tell people that trade is over. So we hit 56 at 3 o'clock on Friday. So the trade is kind of over. Now, what I like is if you wake up that morning and it's 9:30, or let's just say you wake up at 11 and we haven't hit 56 yet, and we're like at 53 or 54, and everybody's buying the 56 strike. Then I'm like, yo, I'm taking that trade with you. We got a whole nother $2 we can make. Let's see what's popping off, in the chart. Plead the fifth. All right. Yeah, I see that too, Denny. Denny said that there was an option that was below that price, which was there was a 59 strike. So let's look at that strike. Let's say you wanted to trade that strike that day. Let's say you look up the unusual options activity. How does Joel trade this trade? All right, I'm gonna show you guys how I would have traded it on Friday. If I had picked that trade on Friday, I'm not going to buy. I'm going to look for that option, but I'm not going to buy it until I see everything green on my charts. Now, that's kind of, I also don't like buying anything. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like buying options that are under $50 in price. So that option is around $50. It's so much out of the money. I guess you could have taken a shot at it. It was 20,000 contracts. Let's see what popped off. So if I was to buy that option, guys, and it was Friday, I can't even really. Oh, here it is. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but I wouldn't buy it until I start seeing it go green on the charts. And it started to go green in the 70 range. You could have got like a 50%. It wasn't really spectacular in the way that it paid out, but you could have turned 70 cents into $1, which is about a 50% return. But what I like to see is I want to see what that 56 strike did on Friday. But yeah, that's 70 cents to $1. You could have turned a 50% return, but I want to see what that other strike did, the one that Wesley was showing us. If I had bought that strike, you're gonna get a lot more action, even though it was the same amount of contracts. Let's see what happened on Friday. What I'm doing is actually looking at the option, guys, the actual option. It looked like it started to move towards the end of the day. It really wasn't doing really anything. It did about the same thing. Actually, the one that Denny showed us actually paid out better. If you were able to hold off and you were able to buy it when it started to go green, like right around 11, you could have bought it for $1.40. Nah, that's the same. You still would have made it, whether you bought this strike or the other strike, you would have been up about 50%, which is normal in the options market. Let me show you guys a millionaire challenge trade. Let me show you guys what I would have been looking for. So on Friday, MicroStrategy and Riot Blockchain were the biggest movers of the day. In fact, that morning, if you were trading that morning on ChatGPT told me before the market even opened, guys, before the market even opened on Friday, ChatGPT was telling me that MicroStrategy and Riot Blockchain there was unusual options activity. Did y'all know that you can go into your GPT and you can ask it, what are some unusual options activity that I see in the market, and it'll give you a list of stocks that you can look up. Don't take the trades because you see what chat gives you. You want to look it up and see if there's unusual options activity at those strikes, and then there's a strategy to get in. So Bitcoin was up big, strategy was up big. So if you notice, I'm going to show you guys the same thing we were looking at just now. You're going to see unusual options activity. Now, there was 20,000 contracts being bought all over the place. Now, here's what's funny. We looked at this same trade on Thursday, and it made a whole bunch of money. A lot of you guys are like, didn't you do this already? Nah, this is Fridays. We looked at Thursdays. This is Friday. We never even looked at Fridays. You could have ran this back the next day. The same trade the next day. I keep telling you guys, they're not one-day events when these things happen. A lot of the times you get the information way before everybody else gets the information. Ain't nobody out there looking up unusual options activity and charting their options. Y'all tell me what TikTok live host is doing that. Ain't none of them doing it. They still doing basic option calls. Like, we past that. We using AI and we looking up unusual options activity, and Cat's still talking about. Anyway, what's the largest number that you guys see? What is the largest number that you guys see? The largest.
41,000.
I asked ChatGPT what unusual. You can just ask them what companies have the largest unusual options activity. Basically, can you scan all the? Because y'all gotta understand, these GPTs, their jobs is to try to pull as much information from every source and try to give you a specific answer from all of the information that it gathers. Now, they're not 100%. In fact, I would say if I had to give a number on how accurate they are, I would put it in the dang 65 to 70% range. But it's way better than listening to some of you guys that think y'all know what y'all talking about, or Cousin Al tell me what I should be buying and what I shouldn't be buying. So I go to ChatGPT first. What I do respect everyone in this room and in my group chat. I respect them way more than anybody outside of this TikTok. So when I get information there, I'm like, this is quality information. I still will take that information, and I want you guys to do the same with me. Just because I post something doesn't mean it's gonna work out. Take that information, and I'm teaching you how to use that information. Pull up the options. If you're trying to do the Millionaire Challenge trade, we might throw out 6 or 7 trades in that room that morning, and that's not just me. Other people telling you things that they're buying, right? So somebody might say, hey, look at MicroStrategy. What you're supposed to do is pull this up on your own, see that everyone's buying that $41,000 strike. If you decide you want to take that trade, then you're going to, you're gonna pull it up, you're gonna learn how to chart it. So if I see that $41,000 strike, I said 41,000, I meant 41 strike, you're gonna pull it up, and I tell everyone, put a trending indicator on your charts, guys, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. That morning, that strike that you're looking at is the 170 strike. All right, the 170 strike. So, if you wake up and the stock is sitting at 160 and everybody and their mama buying the 170 strike, that's $10 away. What? $10? Everybody's buying the strike $10 away from where we buying it, and it's 9:30? Yeah. Yeah. So if you were interested in that strike, wait until it starts going green. Well, guys, that mug stayed green from dang 9:30 all. Guys, this joint went up for an hour and a half. Absolute. When I tell you that the next 2.5 years, y'all better make money, because this about to be fun. The next 2.5 years, you gonna see stupidness like this. This is absolute stupidness. This is probably the most volatile stock I've seen traded in the stock market. And I mean, this bad boy be printing money. At 9:45, guys, you could have bought this for $200. Do y'all know how much it was worth an hour later? That $200, guys, was worth $1,000 an hour later. You done made $800. And all you did was come into a room and learn something for free. Why y'all are out here paying $10,000 for classes? It's because y'all don't know any better. Once AI, guys, AI right now, y'all know why AI is big? Because nobody trusts humans no more with information and education. Why are y'all paying $10,000 for classes when you can learn this stuff for dang free now? All of the major platforms that's out there, all of them. If you're with Charles Schwab, if you're with Charles Schwab, you have free education on stocks, options, futures, and Forex. You can go in there and say, can you show me how to place a buy order and a sell order? Yeah, here's a free video. Can you show me support and resistance? Yeah, here's a free video. Can you tell me what options are? Yeah, here's a free video. Can you tell me what a call is, what a put is? Yeah, here's a free video. Can you tell me what a strangle and a straddle is? Yeah, here's a free video. I will teach you how to make this amount of money. It's gonna cost you $19,900. But you gotta sign up now, because I'm only taking 20 people. Y'all still falling for that? It's 2026. Y'all still falling for that? I got this special indicator that only I know about. Did you create it? No, but I'm the only one that knows about it. And I'm only taking a few people. For $39,900. You too can use this indicator. And if you can't afford that, we have a special plan. We have a buy now, pay later plan. You pick your own prize. Y'all still falling for that? 2026. I'm trying to keep y'all out of that, all right? Gotta come here, gotta get educated, all right? I'm only going on for the next 30 more minutes, all right? 200 to, I'm leaving that up there for you guys to realize, hold up. 200 to 1,000? Yeah. The other day we saw a trade similar to it. It was $50 to 800 on Thursday. Somebody made $50, turned it to 800, and then said, let's run it back the next day. $100 and probably made it turn into $4,000. They took a $40 investment and turned it into $4,000 in 2 hours. Please do not run out there and run it back on Monday, because you don't know what you're doing. Come here, make sure that you understand what's happening. All right, but these are real numbers. These are real charts. I can't manipulate these charts. I know you don't want to believe me, but I can't manipulate these charts. I can't. And it's it's you guys asking to look at this stuff. Okay. All right. What time does the Superfan group? The Superfan group is open 24 hours a day. Like, whatever, anybody, it's just you and I. Whoever wants to post, guys, sometimes I just be up at 2 or 3 in the morning and I'm bored. And I'm like, let me see what chat talking about. They know about it. They'll see the chat like, dang, Joe must not have known Joe must have just been up late last night. He ain't had nothing to do but post in the dang group chat. It's a group chat. It's kind of like a Discord on TikTok. It's one of the best things I think TikTok created. They created a group chat. They created a Superfan Live so that we can communicate with each other. Guys, everybody in the group chat is not taking the trades that I'm taking. They're not all like, all right, Joel, what are we taking next? They're educated individuals like yourself or like me. I just tell them what I'm doing. And then they might say, well, Joel, why don't you take a look at this? And then I'll look at it and I'll be like, that looks better than what I was posting. Great. I only do what I can do. In the mornings, I try to get you guys the information that I find on my AI, because I'm using agentic AI to help me scan and look for things. Everything's not gonna pay out. Everybody has to have their own strategy, but the first part is A, having your strategy, and B, finding the information. Then once you get the information, you apply it to whatever strategy you have. There's day traders, there's intraday traders, there's futures, stocks, crypto. We have everybody in that group chat. It's whatever you're doing. Sometimes I talk about what I'm investing in. Sometimes I talk about what I'm swing trading. Lately, because I haven't had a lot of time, I talk about my futures trade. I might be like, yo, I'm about to get into this trade, or I just got into a short and it's approaching the VWAP. And then the investors, they'll be like, all right, I ain't listening to this because I'm at work. I don't need to listen to what the VWAP is doing, right? But then you'll have your investors come in and talk about what they're buying. You have your traders talk about what they're buying. Now, I'm probably talking the most about the investment stuff or longer swing trades. But there's a lot of trades popping off in that group chat, so take advantage of it. Don't take advantage of it. Think it's a scam? Don't do it. It's just the people in the comment section. Like, that's why I said, guys, it's information. You take the information and then you apply it. Everybody knows about MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is one of the most volatile stocks in the stock market. I know people that trade triple ETFs. That's just not my thing. But if somebody is an expert in it and they're like, nah, Joel, you need to take a look at this trade. Look at what's popping off. Look at these options. I'll take a look at it. I'm not really a 0-day option type guy. But if y'all tell me, hey, Joel, you missing money over here, y'all don't think I'm not going to go over there and look at it, and then I'll apply my strategy to what I see. I'm not, I'll take the information, but I'm still going to trade the exact same way, no matter what y'all give me. I'm going to use my BTG system. If I'm intraday trading, I'm going to use the VWAP, and I'm going to trade it. If I'm trading options, I'm going to look for the unusual options activity. As soon as it starts going green, I'll get in. If it's futures, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to, per contract, I'm risking anywhere from $50 to $100 per contract. Some days I might be trading the Russell. Some days I might be trading the Dow. It just depends on how I feel that day, but it's going to be the same strategies no matter what. Oh, you said, how do you find a group? It's just in every live host on TikTok. So this is how it works. Every live host, like right now, the super fans, every live host on TikTok, this just started probably about, I would say in November. I was lucky because it started to pop off right when I started doing TikTok lives. Every live host is going to have where you guys can give us heart me's and you can become a super fan. Just recently, they rolled it out that if you're a super fan, you can create a group chat on this platform, and anybody that's a super fan has access to these exclusive groups. I didn't create this, TikTok created it. And TikTok created it to reward live hosts like myself that has quality information, because if you have quality information, you deserve to have, you deserve to be able to, it's one of the different ways you can monetize yourself on this platform. That's why people ask me all the time, like, why don't you do this or do that on the platform? Or why don't you care about being in the A leagues or whatever? And I'm like, I don't have to do that, because as long as you guys come in, help me with my live goal for the day, get this on the For You page, I'm gonna do okay. Just because if my content isn't quality content, then I'm not gonna have any super fans. It's easy as that. Cats will try it out for 30 days, then they gonna leave. However, that's not been the case. My retention is like 90-something%. It's very, very high. Because once you get into that group chat, you realize, oh man, it's the place to be, because it's not just Joel, it's people that's watching the lives and understanding strategies and understanding what we're looking for, because it's all about making, dinero. All right. So, but anyway, even if you don't want to do it, it don't matter. We're looking up stocks anyway. And I'm doing this for free. Today it's just for super fans, because I'm gonna do that for you guys on Sundays. On Sundays, super fans are the only people that can comment. They're the only ones that can comment. Monday through Sunday, everybody's able to comment. I do favor people that grab those heart me's or that's supporting the room. That's just how we're taught. I'm a GQ live host, so I don't even know if you guys know this. I'm a GQ live host. We go through training to teach us how to monetize the platform and be able to give you guys quality content. So one of the things they tell us to do is try not to answer questions from people that are not tapping the screen or grabbing those heart me's. I just don't be caring, because I just be looking up any and every stock. So I'm getting better at it. But whatever. For anybody here that's trying to monetize the platform, also, those are some of the little things that you learn how to do. All right, any other stocks you guys want to look at? What time is it? 6:40. Let's go through the Mag 7. Let's look at Apple. All right, let's look at Apple's chart. If you're interested in buying Apple, I would not buy it way up here. I would wait for it to get to this support area or this yellow brick road. I think you kind of missed out on maybe buying Apple. You had a chance to buy Apple when it dropped from 288 to 243. Guys, Apple was down 15%. If you've ever been on my profile, the very first video you see, look, I've never gone viral, but to me, anything more than 1,000, when I first started, guys, that was the first or second video I posted. So I thought I was gonna be big time. The second video I posted got like 5,000 views. I was like, oh shoot, I'm about to go viral on this mug. And then, it's just been getting 10 views a week after that. But the first video that I have on there, I make fun of everyone that owns like 1 million different platforms, 1 million different Apple products, and don't own Apple the stock. And I said, guys, if this stock drops 15 to 20%, you should buy it the next time that happens. Well, I try to practice what I preach. Apple dropped from 288 to 243. And it was a good buying opportunity for it. You could have bought Apple about, looks like it was down 16%. Didn't quite get to that 20% range, but anytime you can get a nice, one one of the largest, most profitable companies in history, and it's down 16%, man, you got to take a shot at it. You also need to take a shot at it if it gets anywhere near this 200-day moving average. So not only was it down 16%, guys, look at what it's bouncing up against. The 200-day moving average. Oh my God, it's like magic. It's what I teach. If you're concerned that it might go lower, you're going to use the what would Joel do method. What is the what would Joel do method again? I'm going to explain it to you. You need to have some type of major moving average on your screen. You need a major moving average. I don't care which one it is. Joel, the 100 is better than the 200. Great, put the 100 on. Joel, I use the 50. Great, use the 50. Joel, I use the 20. And you know the 20 is better than the 50, that's better than the 100. But I put all of them on there, and when it breaks through all of them, it acts like a trampoline. I'm like, whatever you use, just be consistent. So once you have a major moving average and you pick one, I say go with the most used indicator on the planet, which is the 200-day moving average. Because now you can turn on Bloomberg, you can turn on CNBC, and you know what they're talking about. Everybody knows the 200-day. They'll say the 100 every now and then, or the 50. Everybody knows the 200. If you're using my system, which is the BTG, that I don't mind teaching you guys for free, I don't care. Just tap that screen for me. Then the B stands for bias. My bias is that 200-day moving average. If the bias is up, you want to only buy things to the upside. What direction is this blue line angled? It's angled this way. That means I only want to take trades to the upside or investments. That's it. Once that happens, you got to learn how to draw one single line. It's called a trend line. It's called a trend line for a reason. It's called a trend line because this is trending down. If it breaks it, it starts to trend. It's supposed to trend up. Once you get 3 consecutive green candles, you can take a shot at it. And yes, it's gonna be higher than the lowest price, but it's gonna ensure that you give yourself an edge. And that's real buying. You are looking at what we call price action. The price action was we went into a major average and buying started to happen. Real buying, taking Apple's price up. If you had done that, you would have easily been able to make money. Let's look at Microsoft. You don't think it works? I don't care what stock y'all give me. Now, the 200-day moving average is angled down here. And I warned everybody. And I said, look, guys, I am not trading Microsoft. I'm not trading Microsoft. That means I can take a trade like this. It's still, it's still going away from the moving average, but it's still breaking to the upside. All right? You could have even taken it right here as a trade. You could have taken it right here as a trade. Where did we go? You could have taken it right here as a trade. You could have taken it right here as a trade. I'm not buying Microsoft as a trade. I'm buying Microsoft as an investment. Different whole strategy, different chart. What do you guys notice here? What are your investors doing? Why did Joel buy it? Because the 200-day is what my traders, remember the first question G7, the one and only, asked Joel, if I want to buy something and be in it for 7 to 14 days, what chart are you going to do? How long do you want to go out? What did I pull up? A day chart. I'm not going to pull up a week chart for that. This is for my investors. What do you guys notice about this yellow brick road? It seems like everyone likes to buy it every time we hit it. If you don't believe me, let's go back every single time Microsoft hit this yellow brick road for the last 5 years. Let's go back and look at it. Why does everyone love buying this every time it touches the yellow brick road? If the yellow brick road is angled up. You mean to tell me, Joel, from 2012, yes, you're looking at a chart from 2012. For 14 years, Joel, every single solitary time we hit the yellow brick road, Microsoft exploded in price? Yes. I just showed you 14 years of information. Not 14 days, not 14 minutes. I just taught y'all how to back test. Does this mean it's going to work? No, but guess what? I'm in a winning trade. For investment, I can literally put a stop down here, guys, and I'm good. If Microsoft ever backpedals and goes back to $356, then you have to get out. Very easy. But for now, it's doing exactly what it's done for 14 years. And then y'all want to come in and argue with me on why I should buy it here. Don't listen to him. What are you talking about? And where did you come from? It's not going to work this time. You act like Trump wasn't in office in Microsoft when it happened way back here. When Trump was in office, which was what, 2016 to 2020? Oh, no, we ain't hit the yellow brick road. But it don't matter. If it doesn't work this time, great. I'm going to lose $50 per share. I'm cool with that. I'm good. You can go away now back to where you came from. Because I have a strategy. My strategy is I'm going to back test. And if I see it working over and over and over and over and over again, why not try it again? It's on sale. It's not like Microsoft wasn't down 35%. Microsoft was down 35% and it hit its 200-week moving average. In the last 16 years, every time it hit it, everybody bought it. So what, I'm not gonna buy it this time? It's not this time. We weren't in war that time, Joel. Whatever, I'm buying. I ain't listening to you. You don't even show no receipts. I'm gonna listen to somebody that don't show no receipts? Man, get out of here. Get out of here with that craziness. And Microsoft's exploding in price now. Made y'all some more money listening to the wrong people. I come with a strategy. And I'm showing you the charts and showing you why I'm doing it. Don't listen to this guy. He has on shades during a live. He doesn't have a Series 6 or 7 license, guys. Okay. But I'm profiting. All right. Let's look at, that was Microsoft. What did we look at? Microsoft, we looked at Apple. Let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA. What do you guys notice about this yellow brick road? That y'all can't get it there. Ooh, Joel, how come every chart looks the same? How come I just took a class for $17,000. Ain't nobody tell me about no moving average. What are they telling you? I don't know. They told me to look up these Elliott waves. Y'all on Elliott waves? Okay. Another way to take your money. Yeah, the Elliott waves. You didn't hear about the Elliott waves? There are these waves, and there are these patterns, and then when you look at your charts, and you got to line up everything, the waves tells you, and then I'll be like, all right, so explain to me how it works. Not one person on this planet can explain to me how Elliott waves work. Not a single person. You just gotta take the class. You took the class. Tell me how it works. I got 4 more weeks before I can understand exactly what to do, but I think I got a concept. They taking your money. If they can't explain it in 1 minute, 1 sentence, run.
That's the one I was trying to say.
I'm making fun of y'all because all right, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at Netflix in a second. All right, 654. All right, let's get through Nvidia. It was touching the 200 week moving average. Now it's moving up. All right, 200 day moving average. You could have caught it here, and you could have caught it here. So we're looking at Nvidia. All right, you could have caught it at, that's 2019. I'm just showing you guys, if it ever gets to this 200 week moving average, it's going to hurt a lot of people's portfolios. But what is happening right now as an investment? If you haven't bought it yet, stay out. It's too high. I can teach you how to get it at a better price. Nvidia is going to drop, not if, it's going to drop 30 to 50% every year. It's going to do it. You probably can catch Nvidia at some point. If this is the move, let's say Nvidia runs to $400. Let's say Nvidia runs all the way to 400, guys. Let's say it runs from here to 400. I promise you, it's gonna come back 50% to at least 272. Because that's just what stocks do. Even if this bad boy ran to 400, which I don't see it doing, going from a $4.5 trillion market cap to 9. But if it doesn't, you're gonna have a chance to get it around close to where we are right now. I think you might be able to get it for 222. So why buy it now? That's the worst. The worst case scenario is you buy it 10% higher than where we are now. The worst case scenario is that you buy it and then it goes halfway down from here. That's why I tell people the risk to reward is not there if you haven't already bought it. If you're in it, stay in it. If you haven't, wait until it goes down 50%. It's gonna give you a chance, guys. It's going to. It drops 20 to 50% every year. It's breaking out of this range. Looks like it's trying to challenge its all-time highs. Even if it goes to 300, guys, I don't know if you guys ever heard of retest. A retest is when people want to make sure that the price that it broke out from is going to stay. So even if we break out of this range and Nvidia goes all the way to 260, you got like an 80 or 90% chance of it coming all the way back to 197 before it goes to 400. If you really think it's gonna move like that, it ain't just gonna move like this, guys, and just run without you. The aliens have come and they bought all the data centers on the planet, guys. There's no AI available. The aliens are buying up everything. It's gonna give you a chance, all right? That's Nvidia. Let's look at, and if you were looking at it on a day chart, Nvidia looks like this. Give yourself a chance if you were using the what would Joe do method. One of the best methods ever created. Look at here, look at here. I remember doing a live saying, guys, here's your chance. I know it's higher than you expected to, but look at where you would have been. Immediate money. 200 days angled up, it just gave you a shot. That was NVIDIA. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon hit the 200 day and I'm losing. Well, did you go 21 days out or did you go 7? If you went 7, that's the problem. Stop doing 7-day options. That is the hardest thing to do. Even if you got in right here. That was March. All right, 30 days out. 30 days out, yeah, you would have been kind of at break even, and then, yeah, it's starting to break out right now. Maybe you lost right there. Let's say you lost. But then you took this trade. Bam, you would have made your money. Would I be buying it way up here as an investment? Hell no. Who is buying Amazon way up here? Not people in this room. I refuse to let you guys buy Amazon way up here at all-time highs. Remember, we sell to the silly people that want to buy at all-time highs. If you want to take profit right now, you're not going to be the one that buy at all-time highs anymore. You're going to learn how to buy it down here like the rest of us in the room that loves to make money, that loves to have receipt towers like this. Okay? Because Amazon's gonna give you a chance to buy it. Every stock gives you a chance to buy it. Wait, chill, be patient. You're gonna be able to get it 10, 15, 20% off. You just have to be patient. Google is gonna give you a chance. Look at this chart, guys. I don't care what we look at. The yellow brick road is telling you that money is flowing into it. And it's gonna keep doing it. Guys, this is 2011. I'm about to show you that's 2011? That's 15 years of information. Do you mean to tell me, Joel, every time Google this yellow brick road, Google don't even let you get to the road. Google's like, nah, son. You ain't never getting to the yellow brick. Dang, Google never touches this yellow. Oh, there it is. Google touched this yellow brick road after it took 9 years. It took COVID to get Google to touch this yellow brick road. Now, this is when somebody should have gone all in with that. Now, if you had done a line of credit on Google, that might have been a smarter move than Neo.
Not watching stuff.
Yes. Neo? You gonna take a shot at a company that's built in another country?
You don't have to go to.
They don't even make it over here. Look, there you are again. All right, what is Google doing in relation to? Look, there it goes again. There goes those traders. The smartest people on Wall Street. Near this line? No. So don't be buying Google way up here. Just because Joel's up 50 or 60%. Now, if you want to try to take a shot at it, excuse me. Same concept, shorter time frame. Now you're at the day chart. You're on a day chart. Once the day chart starts to go up, guys, you swing traders that are out there, all you should be taking is trades to the upside when this 200 day is angled up. If you were using the What Would Joe Do method, you would have made money in any of these. It didn't matter who it was, even with a gap. Joe, that's just because of the Iran war. Word? Was the Iran war happening right here? Nope. Was the Iran war happening right here? How about right here? Or maybe right here. Wait. right here. Or maybe right here. Oh, wait. Let me go back. Right here. Y'all got excuses for everything except that the strategy works. All right. If the 200-day is angled down, you don't want to be around. Let's look at Meta. If the 200-day is angled down, you don't want to be around. If it's angled up, y'all better make money with Joel. You can go out there and try to short Meta all you want. When the 200-day is angled up, that's Wall Street saying, F all you short sellers that think you smarter than. So we just gonna short squeeze your butt all the way to the upside. All you little short sellers that come in there, I think I'm gonna short it right here. I'm gonna short Meta because I hate Zuckerberg. All right, lose your money. They'll give you moments to make money. Here's your moment, but I guarantee y'all ain't shorting it here. Y'all shorting it way down here.
What happened to Joel?
That it's gonna get back to its all-time highs. Short sellers though, short sellers gonna keep shorting until they right. They're gonna keep shorting until they right, and they lose there, they lose here. And they keep on losing. I know y'all negative on the market, and then you get more and more negative and then more hateful of the market because you're like, why is it keep going up? This makes no sense. I'm just gonna keep shorting. Now you can short when the 200-day is angled down, and even this short here, it's still ripped back up in your face. You got your moments. Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. But if you want to short against a 200-day moving average that's angled up, good luck. I'm not going to do it because I like to make money. If you're going to short Meta, wait until the 200-day is angled down. Because look at what happens in the charts, guys, when the 200 is angled down. When the 200 is angled down, everybody hates Meta. You see? Get on the side. Like, it's like y'all just don't want to go with Wall Street because you hate Wall Street. It's not that you hate Meta. You hate seeing people on Wall Street make money. Because when Wall Street hates Meta, the easiest trade on earth is shorting. It's the same thing to the downside. Y'all see this? It's the, look, same thing. I can look at any stock. I don't care what it is. If Wall Street doesn't like it and that 200-day is angled down, the biggest moves are going to be to the downside until Wall Street likes it again. When Wall Street likes it again, it will make you into a fool. And then it starts to go up. Now the 200-day is angled, I think, sideways. You got a 50-50 chance now. We don't know what direction Meta's going to go. It is slightly down, but I wouldn't bet on it. It's slightly down, but it was just up. So that doesn't count. It was down. I mean, it's down now. It was up a month ago. That's a 50-50 chance. Wall Street don't know what to do with Meta. It's 50-50. It's now sitting at the 200-day. We don't know what direction is the true bias. Now, as an investor, the true bias of Meta is clearly to the upside. Okay? It's clearly to the upside long term. And if you're a real good technician, you'll say, you know what? Even though the other charts look the way that it did, look at this line right there. Y'all see how easy it would have been to buy this right here? This is a 3-week move to the upside. Oh, they were buying Meta before the Iran war. Not before the Iran war, before the president came out with his information on what we were going to do with Iran. Y'all see that? All you had to do was learn how to draw this line. If you drew this line here and Meta came down in price to this line, you could have taken a shot right here. But this is not what y'all are doing. The strategies that y'all are telling me is actually gambling strategies. You can call this a gamble, but at least the gamble is in your favor with a high percentage of winning. What y'all be telling me y'all do because you were in some study group and some guy that trades the market says something like, I don't do that no more. I've lost so much money doing that crap. Strolling on Reddit. I want you guys to learn how to take information and know what to do with that information. All right, what's the other one? Tesla? You want to look at Tesla? I got to get out of here in the next soon. All right. Keep telling y'all where everybody's buying as investments. If the yellow brick road is angled up, Wall Street is not done with that company. They're not done with Tesla yet, guys. As angry as people were with Tesla, all they said was they may have been angry with Tesla, but they were angry with Tesla until it hit the yellow brick road. They were like, you know what, Elon, F you. We taking our money out and we know that it's probably going down to 248. It's going to drop 50%. F you, Elon. We don't like your stock right now. So we're going to drop the stock 50% and you're going to have to tell us why we should put our money back in Tesla. Everybody saw it running this way. I promise you, if I go and look at some of the, this is when, this was the tariffs. So this dropped it to here because of the tariffs, and now it's dropping right now. Now, if I was to draw a line here, it looks like if I was to connect these lines the way we connected it on the other ones, it looked like Tesla can drop some more, guys. I'm still not sold on this move to the upside. It is peaking above it a little bit, but we need a couple of weeks for Tesla to stay above this line. If I was looking at the day chart, all you're doing is bumping up against the 200-day. Y'all see how all these charts are starting to look the same? You're like, is that the same one we just looked at? No. It ran up to the 200-day. It ran through it. If you wanted to take the what would Joe do method, that is the third day. If I was to put a line right here, that's the third day. 1, 2, 3. But I don't like it because we're bumping up against the 200-day moving average. All right, let's look at Netflix. I got you. Netflix. Wesley, I got you. Netflix. Same thing. Joel, I'm tired of all of these patterns looking the same. You're making me feel some type of way about my trading. Yeah. Y'all been doing things the hard way for a very long time. Y'all see this? These easy buys on Netflix? Y'all see this? Just bouncing off the 200-day. Just bouncing off. Now, this time it went all the way through. But if you were using the what would Joel do method, you're going to learn how to not catch a falling knife. You're just going to let it sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off. We don't know how low it's going to go. In fact, it went from $117. If you were just patient, it went from $117, and I wasn't patient. I jumped in. It went from 117 all the way down to 75. And then guess what it did? It said, all right, we're done. We're done selling. It's about time to buy Netflix again. That bad boy popped in 3 days. And boy, oh boy, It is going red. Oh, it went red and then it went green. Guys, I know you're like, how come all of these charts are sitting at their 200-day moving averages at the same time? There's 15, 20, 50 days on these charts. And what, 70%, 70 to 80% of the charts we looked at is sitting at their 200
I
days.
did press that button.
That's not a coincidence.
But anyway, so
Technicians are working with fundamentalists, and the technicians are telling the fundamentalists when to get in and when to get out. And now everybody's a funda technician. I created that word. There used to be fundamentalists that didn't like to look at charts. Then you had chartists that didn't really want to understand the fundamentals. I kept telling everybody, quit being all or nothing. Fundamentalists, learn the technicals. Technicals, y'all need to learn the fundamentals so you know how the other side thinks. They're now working together. And when they work together, you can manipulate this market. You can see things happen before they happen. Netflix actually broke. Look at this, guys. There's a reason. Look at this. Look at this. Netflix ran into the 200-day, then they had their earnings, and now it's dropped in price. Netflix is right here. It literally hit here. If you wanted to be a short seller, look, the 200-day is angled down. Some short seller said, I'm going to take a shot. The 200-day is angled down. I don't want to be around. Let me take a short trade and see what happens in earnings. And they're winning. Now, I tell you guys, instead of trying to time it, let's see if you can get 3 red days. I promise you the 3 red days isn't going to drop so much that you're not going to make some money. Let's see if 3 red candles form, and then you can maybe start shorting it. Now, what I don't like is I don't like this gap. I really don't like this gap. 80% of gaps fill. All right. Now, you wanted to look at the call options on this one. You wanted to look at the call options. You're up. Jamie's up 18% on that Amazon. Congratulations. Let's look at the call options on Netflix. So the call options on Netflix, if you were to go all the way out to May the 1st, guys, there's people buying, which it's unusual, but it's not, well, April 24th, what's today's date, the 19th? Look at these options, guys, on Netflix. There is unusual options activity at the 100 strike. All right, what's the biggest number that you guys see? Oh, you want to see the put side too? All right. Oh, 55,000. All right, so that 55,000 that you guys see is at the 100 strike. So, again, y'all know me. If we've already hit 100, I'm not gonna take the trade. I want to make sure that we haven't hit 100 yet. Now, I think Wesley wanted me to look at the puts. Oh, the puts don't have any. The puts don't have any numbers. All the numbers are on the call side. So that one's kind of weird because there is a bunch of unusual options activity, except Wesley, we already hit 100. Remember, if all of that, if even those what ended up happening was Netflix ran so fast. I want you guys to understand this. Netflix ran so fast into the 200-day moving average that even though the 100 strikes were the most volume, it didn't matter because we hit 108. So everybody's going to try to take their money before, you've already in the money. Why am I going to wait and challenge and lose that money on a Friday expiration? So a lot of people took their money before that happened, which is actually maybe a good thing for Netflix because, guys, that sell-off might just be fake. That sell-off could have happened because everybody took their money, but there's no real put sellers that are there that's going to take this stock to an even lower price. Now, if that $100 strike had popped off after and we never hit the $100, then I would be looking at this differently, like, yo, this isn't really supposed to happen. But anybody that had that strike price already got paid before the Friday expiration even happened. Even though the expiration is the 24th, it didn't matter. These are advanced traders. They're not trading like we do 5 days, 7 days out. A lot of these guys probably was holding that option strike price for months. And then when it finally hit that 100, they let it run all the way up until the expiration date because they're not gonna sit out there and risk losing their money after they've been up because they hit 100, guys. On Netflix hit $100 on April the 6th. So it had been above $100 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. No way I'm risking my money. I would have been out of that trade. And there was nobody else there left to hold the bag, and that's why it dropped the way it did. This might be you might see a pop in the price on Monday, but it's not because of that $100 strike. All right, I think it's an overreaction, to be honest. Now that I've seen that chart, that makes a lot of sense. It sold off the way that it did probably because it was up so much going into the earnings, so it had to average back out at that $100 strike. So that's one of the few cases where the $100 strike told you where it was going to go to when it was at 108 because nobody was buying it higher. Let me see, than 108. Yeah, nobody was buying it at 120. Let me check. Yeah, there's 114,000, but it's not like 55. There was a couple of large trades, but even then, I bet you they got paid too. Because remember, this is the one thing I want you guys to understand. When you're trading options, it does not have to hit the strike price that you're at in order to make money. And I think that's where a lot of people who trade options forget. If it starts moving in your direction really, really fast, you can have an option go up 1,000% and it never even gets to the strike price that you picked. So cats, when they see that profit, they're like, bump that, I'm going to sell in case it doesn't get there. And that's the thing that newbies, when they come into the market, they think they got to hold their option until Friday at 4 o'clock. You don't have to hold that option till 4 o'clock, especially if there's a lot of volume in it like that. You better take your money and be on to the next one. You said, why do they leave the contracts open though? I don't really understand that question. Why they leave it there with Theta? I'm telling you, some people are just greedy. They just felt like I'm going to make even more money. And then you got to forget, you got to remember, everybody's not looking at the options activity. There's a whole bunch of people that was buying Netflix because they buddies just made a whole bunch of money. So they're just going to make money to the upside. There was nobody buying it higher than 108. I just looked at the options. No one was betting on Netflix going higher than 100, really. So when it went to 108, that was icing. That was, if you were in it, you lucked up because there was nobody buying at the 108.17 strike, and there was no puts being bought. So people weren't betting on it. but everybody knew that it had gone parabolic. Remember, when a stock goes parabolic, if it takes that Cialis and Viagra and honey at the same time, it's gonna come back to something that's reasonable, which was that $100. Yeah, there was hardly no puts. There was no puts whatsoever. So that was weird. I'm glad you showed me that, because I haven't seen an options chart that looked like that in a minute. That was kind of weird. Usually when you see a strike, usually when you see a stock drop like that 10% in one day, you'll see major put activity on the put side, but it wasn't. It was because all the action was at the $100 strike. So all it did was it corrected itself and went to the $100 strike. That's all it did. But I like that we looked at it, because now I don't feel like it's gonna drop. I think that was an overreaction, and we're probably about to go up, except there's nobody buying calls or puts. So it's kind of neutral. 100 is kind of where everybody thinks it should be worth, and that's where we got to. So it's kind of 50-50 right now. It's probably gonna go sideways, maybe flirt around. It might go back up to that 200-day, which is what I think it's gonna do, and sit there until the next earnings period. Because look, Netflix just Netflix, and I'm getting out of here really in 6 minutes. Netflix just raised their prices, so it's gonna make us angry. But in the business world, when a company has a subscription base that has millions of people that are on it, and they even raise it $1 or $2, that means that company is going to make even more money, and Wall Street can figure out what that number is. Now, what's interesting is that Netflix doesn't provide its numbers anymore. They're like, we're not going to do that anymore, because y'all keep messing up our stock appreciation because y'all have these numbers. So we're no longer going to give you guys these numbers. Only in-house is going to have it. So Netflix will have the numbers, so they'll know when to buy back their shares. And it's interesting because they just raised their prices. So in my mind, I'm like, y'all must see y'all numbers going up, and you're about to raise prices, which is a good thing for Netflix, but we'll see. It might not play out that way. It might. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Wesley. That's what I'm thinking. All right, let me get out of here. We looked at the top 5. Did we miss any? We showed Apple. Did we look at Amazon? Did we look at we looked at Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Apple. We looked at Netflix. We looked at Nvidia. We looked at Google. We looked at Meta. I'll look at Eli Lilly for you physicians that are out there and doctors that are out there. Well, doctors are physicians, Joel. Let's look at Lilly. We're looking at $1 trillion companies right now. The best of the companies that are out there. Eli Lilly. What do you guys notice in the charts? I know most of these companies, there's only a couple guys that I think that are on sale. The only 2 companies I've seen that looks like they're on sale. Lilly is one of them. Look at where we're bumping up against, guys. The GLP-1 drugs is real. It's real. Ask your friends. 2 out of 5 of your friends is probably using the GL. I don't know if it's that high yet. It's getting up there. If you're in that 40 or over crew, I'll say 1, even though I know the number is bigger than that. 1 out of 5 of your friends is using GLP-1.
Oh. Okay.
Now, I will say it's at least that number. Now, maybe because I'm African American, I know you guys are like, what? We thought you was Indian, Joe. We see all of that Indian in your goatee. Yes, I'm African American. So because diabetes and heart disease runs rampant in my race, maybe I see the numbers that are higher for my peer group. So I don't know, maybe I'm a little biased. But the numbers are growing and they're high. All right. But we're at the 200-day moving average. If you're thinking about buying Eli Lilly, and I'm thinking about adding this to my portfolio, guys. I love having a diversified portfolio. It was down 22% at one point, and right now at $927, Eli Lilly is down 17%. So that means if it ever got back to its all-time highs, even though it dropped 17%, you make more money to the upside. Think about it. If a company drops from $100 to $50, it drops 50%. But if you buy it at 50 and it goes back to $100, you just made 100% return. So a company can drop 50 and just going back to where it came from, you make 100%. That's why I always tell people it doesn't pay to be a bear, because the numbers don't work in your favor as a bear. A bear, even if you were shorting this, you can do it with puts, but if you were shorting it straight stock, the most you're going to be able to make is 100%. And ain't none of these stocks going to zero. Eli Lilly ain't going to zero. So you might make 5-10%, but then if you're wrong, it can blow against you 30, 40, 50%, and then you're going to get a margin call. So why be short? It doesn't pay to be short unless you want to buy puts. I get it. Puts, I get it if you want to buy puts. I get it. I ain't talking to my super traders that are out there. All right. So this is one that's bumping up against the 200-day. Now, the week chart, it is very, very far away from the 200-week moving average. But that was the breakout area for Eli Lilly, guys. The 961 area was the breakout area, and it's below the breakout area. Now, I get it. I know you don't want to catch a falling knife, and I wouldn't catch a falling knife either. But if you're interested in it, I'm telling y'all, I might be buying some of this. You know, I get a little antsy sometimes and just buy stuff just to be buying it, just because it's still on sale. You can't tell me I ain't getting it on sale. It's still 18% off, even if I'm catching a fallen knife. But I'm not diversified enough, and I need more biotech companies and REITs in my portfolio, and I don't have enough. So if I'm gonna buy something, I'm gonna buy one of the best companies that's out there. So I kind of like the chart for Eli Lilly. Denny, I'll look at this one. Y'all just be keeping me on. All right, 200-week moving average is angled up, so be careful. Day chart though, look, you had a perfect opportunity to buy. Look at that. I mean, it bounced up against the 200-day in reverse that day. It tried to give you a chance to buy. If you bought this using the what would Joel do method, Joel would have been in somewhere right around here. How many times have y'all seen me today show you guys a chart where we hit a moving average, we broke through that moving average, and we went up for at least 3 days, and we started going through the roof? Now, I don't like all of these gaps. There are a bunch of gaps in the chart, so be careful. All right, I got to get out of here. I want to give a shout out to my top 10, G7, the one and only undercover organizer, Denny. Millionaire Challenges, me, C. Spooner, and Safari Don, Moji, Zano, Wesley, and coming in at honorable mention is my wife, Dr. Harrison, who's waiting for me to get off this live so we can go spend some QT time together. She's like, Joel, you were supposed to be off an hour and a half ago. I know you love your friends, but tell them the street lights have gone off and you need to come home. All right. So I gotta go. Thank you guys for helping me reach my live goal today. Tomorrow we go back to the regularly scheduled live 6 o'clock. Everybody's gonna be able to comment 6 to 10. Bring your comments, bring your questions. I'm gonna put one song on Engage in the comment section. Most of the people that are in the comment section already follow each other anyway.
What?
Because I'm seeing all of you guys' names and it looks
Happened
like
to
all
what?
of you guys are super fans. So I want to make sure that you guys still engage with each other. We've been listening to Teddy the whole time. Let me put on one of